Blues re-enter the zone. Great stop and stick by Joseph. Short-handed chance. Separates. In. Shoots. Score! Bukestad in. Fires. Score! And a banner reader for Luukkonen as Bukestad beats him along the ice. 2-0 Blues.
I thought majority of the game that the effort was significantly better than yesterday. I thought the physicality was good. I liked the way we dug in. I liked the way there was numerous block shots, and our goaltender was our best player, and that's what you need on.
Several attempts to clear. That was a third one. Blues didn't get it out. Pass to Kesselring. Shooting it on, and a glove save. Hofer. Center's tucked. Put it on. Right leg save. Hofer.
Can't say that yet. That's one game. We did it one game in Edmonton. We got to, do it again Saturday night.
Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. It's BK and Ferrario here on 101 ESPN. Alex, did you know that the Buffalo Sabres were 5-1-4 in their 10 games prior to last night?
Did you know you just asked the pre- and post-game host what the record of the Buffalo Sabres was?
That team has been kicking everybody's ass for the last couple of weeks.
And it's funny, they were asking Tage Thompson before they went on that 10-game stretch, talking about what's going to happen. Are you going to miss the playoffs again? And he's like, can we please stop talking about the future and worry about what the next game is? And then the next game, they rally off points in 9 of 10 straight and lose once in regulation.
Not bad.
Yeah.
And a good stretch for the Buffalo Sabres, but not last night. Not against this version of the St. Louis Blues. No Jordan Kyrou, no problem for your St. Louis Blues. They win 3-0 on the road at Buffalo. And Alex, I'm going to open up pretty open-ended here. What did we learn from that performance where they had like 5 shots on goal the entire game, but they put 3 of them in the back of the net?
It was 17.
Really matters.
Please keep it down over there, Tone Ranger. What we learned? Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
I'm unfortunately not going to do this yo-yo with the Blues early on. Like, they had the chance to. I bought in after that Edmonton Oilers. Frankly, I bought in after the Vancouver Canucks play because
you didn't need anything to buy.
No,
in,
are you kidding me? After the Detroit and Pittsburgh games, I needed something to buy in. The Vancouver one that they lost in a shootout, we got into an argument in this very studio.
I remember that.
I felt like it was a fun argument, though, T-Bone. I love your face. It felt like they were making strides away from what they were doing. And then Columbus felt right, and then Edmonton was like, cool, that was the moment. They broke through. All of the talk that they've been saying, they backed it up. And then you laid the egg against Washington. You played poorly. So I'm not going to invest anything into one win. And I think I put that cut there by Jim Montgomery for a reason. His mindset is my mindset. You have to do more than one game. You're going to have to carry that over. Frankly, you're kind of in a situation now where I need to see 4 or 5 games like that. Maybe a little bit more offense, but I need to see 4 or 5 games where you're winning board battles, you're playing the physical brand, you're going to the front of the net, you've got 4 lines, and you play a good brand of defense. I need that for about 5 games before I can sit here and act like, oh, they turned the corner. They understand what Jim Montgomery wants to see. I mean, the guy essentially called his entire team out after the loss versus Washington, made them do the equivalent of what Herb Brooks did in the movie Miracle of like, you don't want to skate in the game, you're going to skate now. Brought him to morning skate on the second of a back-to-back and made him do a full practice. Yeah, I expected him to respond. The problem for this team, as Jim Montgomery has pointed out, is they'll get fat and happy after a win. They get a day off, and then they show up the next game, and they're not ready to play. So Seattle tomorrow, that's going to be a test. And then Calgary, and then Philly, and then Vegas.
All that I feel like I learned last night is that Joel Hofer improved. That was it. And that's a big deal, dude. Like, I don't want to understate how big of a thing that is. Joel Hofer had been unplayable for most of the season. And last night he stepped up. They needed him. He performed well. And that allowed them to get that victory. I went over to the Money Puck Deserve to Win-O-meter. According to that, which doesn't matter. Ultimately, the Blues got the point. And right now, hey, man, I'm not going to be greedy. Get the points. That's all that matters. But it was a 75% chance based upon the play-by-play data that Buffalo wins that style of game. They outshot you. They outchanced you. They outperformed you for most of the day. Again, doesn't matter. Your goalie made the saves. You got a shutout in the game. Kudos.
Yeah.
It's a pass-fail test right now. You passed because you put up more points than the opposition last night. That being said, if we're also projecting forward and talking about what did that game mean in the bigger picture, man, very little to me. You generated almost nothing offensively in that game. There were times where I was like, hey, the process feels a little bit better, but the results were basically the same and in some areas worse. You're not putting anything on net right now. The quality of the chances at times were good. I thought it was nice to see Matthew Joseph back in the lineup last night. I'd like to see more of him. I think he's been one of your best players so far this year, Alex. You want to talk about effort? That dude has been giving an effort every time that he's touched the ice so far this year. Reward that. Give him another chance this weekend to go out there and play that way. I thought last night it looked better with Matthew Kessel in the lineup than it had previously with Logan Mailloux. Reward that. Maybe give him a little bit more ice time, but if nothing else, at least keep him in the lineup. So that to me was good. Overall, I didn't think it was some crazy great performance by the Blues, though. They responded a little bit. They were more physical. They went out there and they took care of business with a win, and Joel Hofer was good. That's about all I can say, though, from a game like that.
Yeah, I mean, Matthew Joseph didn't deserve to come out of the lineup in the previous game versus Washington. He's been consistent all season long. I understood why they did it because they needed to get Walker back in, but I think there were other candidates to take out of the lineup. You know, I wasn't as upset about the offense. Like, 17 shots isn't great, but I know Jim Montgomery.
It's horrific.
Jim Montgomery is a quality versus quantity person. Like, we've seen, Berube used to be that way. There'd be games with 22 shots on goal. To me, I know their offense can generate chances. I mean, they had back-to-back games versus Vancouver and Columbus where they put 39 shots on goal. I think they had 110 combined shot attempts versus Columbus, Vancouver, and Edmonton. So I know the offense will generate. And you also had Jordan Kyrou out of the lineup, who's a big piece of that offense. So I wasn't worried as much about generating offense. What I didn't like was that they never really they played way too shut down Brand in the third period when you're only up by 2 goals. You got to at least, and I think Montgomery said afterwards, there's got to be more offensive zone time in the third period. But 17 shots, yeah, you need more than that, but they're quality versus quantity anyway. I was more focused on how many times did you turn the puck over, which they did a good amount. How much
feel lackadaisical, and sorry to cut you off, Alex, but on that point, it's a good one. They feel so lackadaisical through the neutral zone.
Not crisp either. That was the thing that I noticed, especially in that Oilers game, because the Oilers are so crisp, clean, fast. Blues make everything look hard.
Yeah. Well, and it's to me, it's because the forwards aren't coming back all the way. Like in their own end, forwards are kind of hanging around at the top of the faceoff dot, waiting for the pass to come to them so that they can play that transition hockey. Problem is, the other team is just swarming them by the faceoff dot, and it's getting turned over. But even with the turnovers, Hofer was big for you, and you really didn't give up as much. You gave up some high-danger chances, but considering what you did versus Washington, where Tom Wilson stood in the blue paint for about 5 minutes and didn't get touched, that was an improvement. Offense, if they play that way tomorrow against Seattle, yeah, you're probably going to lose. But they're a quality versus quantity type of team, so it's more about how you play in your own end in the neutral zone than anything else.
The Blues have played 4 games in the last 6 days, and Broberg has played the following minutes in those 4 games: 24, 21, 20, 27 minutes.
Holy cow.
Broberg last night was your best defenseman on the ice.
Played 27 minutes against Buffalo last night. Yeah. A lot of that shorthanded. Man, I
think I don't know if it was DeFranks or JR that had the piece, but they've officially moved him into the shutdown role. Like, they're not using him in the offensive role that they had before. They know he can. He's the guy that's playing, and that's why he's playing with Parayko. You're going up against the toughest minutes, and you're going to shut down the best lines.
It's the Bouwmeester role. Mm-hmm. They have officially put him into what used to be the Jay Bouwmeester role, and he's, performing incredibly well in doing so. But, gosh.
Yeah. 27
minutes for him, 25 minutes for Parayko, 24 minutes for Falk, 24 minutes for Cam Fowler. This is something that we criticized Drew Bannister for at this point last year, where they were overplaying these top 4 defensemen. I don't think this is sustainable. I understand why they're doing it. And yesterday they went back to hey, Kessel and Tucker, we don't trust either of you guys. We're just going to put you together and pray for the 9 minutes that you play that it goes okay for us.
Essentially, you're going to get like 2 shifts in the third period, and that's going to be it.
And that's what they did. It worked. I just don't think that is the type of playing style, playing time that they can consistently do. Right now, you need to get these points. I understand why they're doing it, but man, this team's got some problems right now. And we knew that going into last night. Yesterday, a good win, and I'm not trying to pee in anybody's Cheerios today, but I do think it is our job to come on here and be honest and tell you how we're feeling about the team. It did very little to sway how I feel about the team heading into tomorrow night's game against Seattle.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing that swayed my opinion on this team is now that it seems like they have a fallback when they're playing poorly. Because that's 2 straight games that Joel Hofer has performed well. The Binnington one against Washington is a little concerning, but we know when the guy's overworked, and we talked about how how much he's played in, he's still the guy. The Edmonton Oilers game is a prime example of what Binnington can do. So at the bare minimum, you've got your goaltending tandem at least seemingly back to their confidence level.
I'll be honest, I'm not ready to declare that yet.
Not even.
The Binnington start made me worry because they need Binnington to be good as well. Like the whole part of this.
Yeah, but Binnington gets better when Hofer's good.
I agree.
I agree with that. And that part of it is because of what you're talking about the rest. But I got to see both of them play well consistently. It feels like, hey, Hofer had been struggling. Binnington picked it up. And then Hofer's now playing well. Oh, then Binnington has the Washington game.
It's 11:15. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we're going to be joined by Mike McKenna, the former NHL goalie. We'll get his thoughts on what Alex just said. Are these goalies starting to turn the page? We'll ask Mike McKenna about that in 15 minutes. 314-399-9646. That's the Your Comfort Service text line to get involved in the show. You can watch us on YouTube at youtube.com/101ESPN STL. Coming up at the end of this hour, we'll get into Ask Us Anything. If you guys have any questions, sports or otherwise, go ahead and get them in right now on the Your Comfort Service text line. But next, the Broncos seemed to be everybody's darling coming into this season, and they have rewarded that by putting together the best record so far in the AFC. Does anybody actually believe in this team, though, especially after what we saw from them last night? We'll talk about that next year on 101 ESPN.
The Spread Zone, where sports betting meets reckless optimism, questionable logic, and the occasional stroke of genius. With hosts Anthony Stalter, Tim McKernan, and Scott Rizzuto. Check out the latest from the Spread Zone at 101ESPN.com or the 101 mobile app. The Spread Zone is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. football is on ESPN tomorrow morning. Texas Tech and BYU. Pregame at 10:30, kickoff at 11. The NCAA plays on 101 ESPN. Broadcasting live from the Centene Community Ice Center inside the E&B Granite Studios. This is BK and Ferrario on 101 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmers Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN.
Anybody actually believe in that team that we watched last night?
Oh, the Raiders? Yeah, they'll be fine. Pete Carroll, he's got a winning background. You know, Geno Smith, Brock Bowers, they'll be fine.
Broncos are 8-2. As of today, they would be the number 1 seed in the AFC. I believe in the defense. I think the defense is really good. And I think it is a defense that can get this team to the playoffs, maybe be a top 3 seed. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they win this division. And I say that as a Chiefs fan. You guys know my affiliation with the Kansas City Chiefs. They play each other next weekend. Wouldn't surprise me at all if the Broncos end up winning this division.
It should.
I absolutely do not believe in them in the playoffs. I don't trust this offense. Alex has been on this for a long time, saying I don't trust Bo Nix. I'm going to call him Bo Picks because it seems like every time I watch him, he's out there throwing interceptions.
6 of his 10 starts, he's thrown an interception.
That's exactly what happened last night, and that's against a trash Raiders defense.
Yeah.
They did a whole lot of nothing moving the football last night against, again, a really bad Las Vegas Raiders defense. Alex, can I read you some of the mishaps that had to take place in order for the Broncos to win that game?
I think it's going to be necessary because this might surprise you. I didn't watch any of it.
The Raiders, in a 10-7 loss, had an interception, a punt blocked, 9 penalties, a missed field goal, and a touchdown that was wiped out due to a penalty.
That's some good stuff right there.
What am I supposed to do with this Broncos team?
Nothing. You can celebrate their regular season success, but that team is not going to do anything. I know the people that say, well, defense wins championships. Not if your team only scores 7 points and your quarterback throws interceptions. Like, go ahead and look through that schedule that they've pulled off their 8 wins with. It's not good teams.
They beat Tennessee.
Oh, well, sorry, you're right. That was a good team.
By a touchdown.
We're talking the college Tennessee.
They beat the Cincinnati Bengals. They won big in that one.
Okay, cool. But Cincinnati also has no defense.
Big. They won 28
on the road against the Eagles. That I will give them full credit for. That is a good win.
Sure.
They played one of the worst games of the season against the New York Jets. That was overseas, and they won that one 13-11, and it took a miracle in order to pull that one off.
Yeah.
They beat the New York Giants in a game where I still don't know how they won that game. They beat the Dallas Cowboys, who don't play defense. They beat the Texans last week in a game that was like pulling teeth to be able to score.
And I lost that one on my pick 'em.
And
That's
again, they beat the Texans with their backup quarterback in there.
So one good win is what they've had.
And then last night they beat the Raiders.
So one good win.
Yes.
So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the Denver Broncos are going to be this best team in the AFC. If the Chiefs lose to that team, your team isn't a Super Bowl contender. I said that sarcastically. I'm sorry.
No, I agree with you, though.
You don't lose to that team.
If the Chiefs lose against the Broncos next week, it will tell me more about the Chiefs than it will about the Broncos.
Yeah.
I agree.
It'll be a sign that, hey, for all of the talk about Kansas City and my talk about Kansas City, and this being like the most well-balanced Chiefs team that they've had with Patrick Mahomes since 2022, hey, man, they've got some issues. Like, I can be upfront about that. They're not a perfect team, and if they lose to this version of the Broncos, no siree. That's a sign of worrisome things to come for Kansas City more than it is a reason to believe in this Broncos team. I think right now, I know this feels crazy because none of them are leading their respective divisions. I think we are right back to where we were at the beginning of the year. The 3 best teams, in my opinion, in the AFC, the 3 teams that I trust to win in the playoffs, are the Bills, the Ravens, and the Chiefs.
See, and I only have 2. Ravens aren't in that for me. I don't trust their quarterback. And I will never trust their quarterback until he wins the Super Bowl. I will never trust their quarterback.
I would currently put it Chiefs, Bills, Ravens.
I would go Bills, Chiefs, Ravens. Just like if the Cowboys were the best team in the NFC, I'd be like, yeah, but this doesn't matter because when their quarterback gets in, it's the deer in the headlights look.
So I know I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to get like these crazy looks because we've never seen it. But what about New England? would you trust New England in the playoffs?
No,
Because I think they win that division.
I think New England can do what Washington did last year.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I guess that's probably fair, because I guess we never really trusted Washington.
Their loss last week shouldn't have been a loss, but it shows you that they're still raw.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
That's a great
Sorry to
comparison.
cut you off. I think you were probably going to say it.
I agree with you. I think the Patriots are the team this year that, depending on seeding, because seeding could be really wonky this year, man.
Yeah.
Like, it could be Colts as the number 1 seed, Patriots as the 2 seed.
They get the Chiefs in the first round.
the Broncos as the 3, the Ravens as the 4, and then Bills as 5, Chiefs as the 6. And so you end up with the Bills and the Chiefs winning in the first round of the playoffs as the road teams. And then they go to take on the Broncos and the Colts in the second round, or the Patriots end up having, to face the Chiefs in that first round. That's a tough spot.
Yeah. At least you're at home, though.
Yeah, true.
I don't know that. I don't know how much that really helps, because I just trust their quarterback when they're there.
There's just only, and I hate that I'm saying it, because I hope the Colts do well, because I like teams that make aggressive moves like they did, but I just don't trust their quarterback. So they're kind of in the Baltimore Ravens category for me, to where it's like, look, you're a really good team, but when the brights are the lightest, as BK will say, I don't expect you to win. So there's only 2 teams in the AFC that I look at and you're like, yeah, that's a Super Bowl contender. And it's Bills and Chiefs.
And I think the Colts, it's different because they haven't done it the same way, but I think the Colts and Broncos remind me of what the Vikings were a couple of years ago, where the Vikings, they had that great offense with Kirk Cousins, but they were winning always these 1-score games. And we went into the playoffs going, yeah, that's probably not going to hold up. And they lost to Daniel Jones. I think it was the Giants, if I remember correctly. And it's different the way they're doing it, but for the Broncos, they're just better defensively. They don't allow anybody to score. Well, as Alex said, you can't rely on that. And then I look at the Colts, and maybe they're more of the Vikings of the Sam Darnold era. It's just 2 different Vikings teams I feel like I'm watching.
I think the Colts remind me a lot of what the Titans team was with Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry, where you've got Derrick Henry is the equivalent to Jonathan Taylor. That Titans team was really well coached with Mike Vrabel as their head coach. They ended up as the number 1 seed. They made it to the AFC Championship game that year. They were a legitimately good football team. And not a soul believed that they were going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs once we got there.
Yep.
So that would be my closest comparison to what we've seen.
Yeah.
I guess they were the 2 seed, I think, is what they ended
I think
up with.
that one's fair. I just don't know that we ever saw Tannehill doing what Jones is doing.
I don't know, but Tannehill
was
really
awesome
good
that year. He was running, he was throwing.
And I know this is going to sound weird because Taylor's had a great year. I always felt that team was just Derrick Henry, and that was it.
And Tannehill had 30 touchdowns that season.
I just have no recollection of Tannehill.
He led the NFL in yards per attempt that year. He ended up throwing 2,700 yards, 22 touchdowns. Or no, I'm sorry. The year after was the year that he was that great. He had 3,800 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 picks.
Yeah, see, I have no.
It was
so forgettable.
He should have been an MVP. Was he he wasn't the MVP that year, was he?
Comeback player of the year, Pro Bowler, but not the MVP.
He should have been an MVP because, he was as good, if not better, than Derrick Henry. Now, Derrick Henry was freaking insane, but he's right. That was a 1-2 punch, but they also had A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
And so it was like their offense was more elite than what the Indianapolis Colts is.
Yeah, and the Colts don't have – I know they're putting up better numbers. They don't have an A.J. Brown.
No.
Pittman's their
not
best receiver.
close.
He's not what A.J. Brown was when he was young.
Jonathan Taylor, though, is more versatile than Derrick Henry, which can make him more dangerous.
But Derrick Henry that year ran for 1,500 yards and 16 touchdowns.
Yeah, see, that's why I remember him more than I remember Tannehill, because that was unbelievable.
Well, and the big play
he's a tank moving down the field.
The big play in the AFC Championship game, or it was to get to the AFC Championship game, if I'm not mistaken, was Derrick Henry running that touchdown in.
Derrick Henry the next year, 2,000 yards, 17 touchdowns. Just absolutely absurd.
Is a freak.
Yeah. So those Titans teams were legitimately good, and I think this Colts team is legitimately good. I don't feel that way about the Broncos. The Broncos feel incredibly fraudulent. By the way, have you guys looked at the latest odds to win the MVP this season?
No.
Who do you think is currently the favorite?
Mahomes? I saw a lot of people.
No, it's got to be a quarter.
Mahomes is third at plus 450.
It's not Jonathan Taylor, right?
No, Jonathan Taylor is not in the top 6.
This is a quarterback award.
Yeah.
The top 6 are all quarterbacks.
Is it Josh Allen?
Josh Allen is currently the favorite at plus 160. Drake May is second at 4-1.
I could see that.
That's why I brought it up as your Patriots
that.
conversation.
If Drake May wins that conference, I could see it.
Where's Stafford? Because I would have thought Stafford would have been top 3.
Let's say so. This is it's an interesting list given what this season has been like. Josh Allen 1, Drake May 2, Mahomes 3, Matthew Stafford 4, and then 5-6 is Sam Darnold at 12-1 and Baker Mayfield at 20-1.
Honestly, I agree with those. I agree with those standings.
It's hard to push back against. I don't know if I would call Josh Allen MVP, but
I think the fact that we always talk about how he has 0 wide receivers that you trust, and he still finds ways to put up the points he does.
I just think the best player on the team this year has been James Cook.
I agree.
That's the problem. Is like I don't think Josh Allen has necessarily this season. Overall, he's obviously the best player. He's the guy that scares you the most. But this season, the best player on that offense, the guy that scares me the most and that keeps them on track the most, is James Cook. So it's been a weird NFL season. Kind of mirrors the college football season in that regard, where there's nobody really that I would say is deserving of the Heisman at this point in time. Just like in the NFL, I can't name an obvious MVP candidate.
Make running backs okay to be MVPs again. You know,
I agree. I totally agree. I think Taylor and James Cook should be on that.
Make fullbacks eligible, right, Kerry Davis?
Alongside Alex at T-Bone on BK, Mike McKenna, former NHL goalie, joins us next.
101 ESPN is powered by Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's injury lawyers. Call 314-500-5000.
All right, St. Louis, BetMGM is coming soon to Missouri. On November 17th, sports fans in Missouri can pre-register and get up to $1,500. Again, that's $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if their first bet loses, plus an additional $100 in bonus bets if they deposit before December 1st. Enjoy a betting app that was designed for game day with features like live bets, same-game parlays, BetMGM rewards points, and surprise boosts dropping in your account all throughout the season. It's everything a sports fan could want in one app. Pre-registration is coming soon on November 17th here in Missouri. BetMGM, make it legendary. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, Missouri only. New customer offer subject to eligibility requirements and minimum deposit of $10. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Pending BetMGM's licensure as a mobile sports wagering operator with the Missouri Gaming Commission. Register for a Missouri online sports wagering account starting November 17th. BetMGM's issuance of a welcome offer is conditional on full licensure.
Make your picks for this week's Fastlane Pick'em Challenge at 101ESPN.com. Show off your football knowledge and see if you can top the Fastlane and the dudes from the Rizzuto show on the point for this week's top score. The top scorer each week scores a Bud Light NFL cooler stocked with 101 ESPN and point swag. It's the Fastlane and the Riz Show throwing down all football season long in the Pick'em Challenge. Enter your picks for this week now at 101ESPN.com.
The Fastlane Pick'em Challenge is refreshed by Bud Light, official beer of the NFL. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
Blues bust out versus Buffalo. Good morning. I'm Bradford Bruns. Your Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Last night at KeyBank Center, St. Louis blanked Lindy Ruff Sabres 3-0. Joel Hofer recording his third NHL shutout, stopping all 28 shots. Matthew Joseph, Justin Falk, and Nick Bukestad potting goals. STL begins a 4-game homestand tomorrow as Seattle visits Enterprise. College hoops, various top 25 teams find themselves in action later. Number 17 Illinois demolished Jackson State previously and now draws Florida Gulf Coast. Kansas, North Carolina will tip off around 6 while Mizzou plays host to SEMO. Saturday afternoon, the football program welcoming third-ranked Texas A&M. 101 ESPN features BYU Texas Tech at 11 a.m. This Sports Center update was driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet plus Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
This is BK and Ferrario on 101 ESPN, broadcasting live from the E&B Granite Studios at the Centene Community Ice Center, presented by Bud Light and Skimmer's Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN. We're going between the pipes with former NHL goaltender Mike McKenna.
Mike McKenna. How do you like me now?
Between the Pipes is refreshed by Macadoodle Spirits, fine wine, beer, and cigars. Now open in Garden Prairie.
Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. We got Bradford Bruns back in the studio for us today. We're going to get to Mike McKenna, former NHL goalie, via the Callier and Thompson hotline here in just a moment. But Bradford just did our update for us at the studio. We haven't seen him today because we're out here at the E&B Granite Studios at the Centene Community Ice Center. Bradford back in the studio in Creve Coeur. Bradford, did you get dressed up for us? What's going on here? It appears that you had a full-on suit.
You got the tie on. You got the tie clip and everything.
Would this be classified as a glow-up, I guess? Guys, I always like to look dapper for the part, but we've got a big one tonight. We've got Mizzou, SEMO, Redhawks. There's not a lot of transition time, and then football tomorrow. The doubleheader. We're going to Como shortly.
Bradford,
are you staying in Como this evening? Or
that
are you
would be
coming
accurate.
back and then driving out there?
No, I am insane, but not that insane. We're staying in town.
Are you doing an Airbnb or is this a hotel situation?
Or are you shacking up in a dorm room somewhere?
As much as that sounds enticing. No, I've got a family situation, so I'm very fortunate and thankful for that.
All right, there you go. Bradford Bruns back in the studio for us today.
Trying to make me look bad. I thought I was the suit guy. And then Bradford shows up in a whole suit and tie.
Let's see if our guy Mike McKenna is wearing a suit as he's out at apparently a huge hockey tournament in Chicago. Joins us now via the Callier and Thompson hotline. Mike, how you doing today, man?
I'm not wearing a suit. I'm doing great. I'm coming to you live from the Marriott Club in Schaumburg, Illinois. We just experienced a big victory this morning for our Kirkwood Stars 12U A1 team, knocking off a Peoria Junior Mustangs team 5-2, and we're ready for another game later today. There's your update from Chicago. Back to you.
How many shots on goal did you have? Because it had to have been more than 17, right?
To say low bar to clear for them.
We were probably upwards of 20. It was a pretty good transition game for our team. We had good goaltending today. We definitely could have owned the lines and used the weak side a little better, but that's what we're going to look to do this afternoon.
So you'd say quality over quantity with your shot selection, correct?
Oh, man, we got some killer breakaways, yeah.
See? BK just doesn't understand, Mike, what quality versus quantity means, and it sounds like your team understands the basics of a gritty hockey win.
Well, the Blues had one of those last night. We're talking big picture St. Louis Blues with our guy Mike McKenna here on 101 ESPN. Mike, the Blues decided to make Jordan Kyrou the healthy scratch last night. We were frankly quite surprised by the decision. I think Kyrou has, generally speaking, been pretty good this year. I understand maybe his game has lapsed a bit recently, but if you're going to make somebody healthy scratch, he certainly wouldn't have been my first choice. And yet, here they are. They made that choice. Were you surprised by it last night? And what did you think about the choice to do so?
Yeah, I was really surprised. And the first thought that I had was how when you healthy scratch somebody of that caliber on your team, it sucks the air out of the room, and it's a holy cow moment. And what happens is when you're walking into the locker room and the lineup is posted and as players are filtering in and they see that, and mind you, too, the Blues they're on the road in Buffalo, so they're in a hotel here, and you walk into that event space and you see the lineup and you go, oh, man, Jordan's out. Like, it catches attention. I don't like it for the player because I do think that there has been a bit of a regression in Kyrou's game the last couple, I thought, but I do think he played pretty good hockey. I think the overarching feel to this is that Monty's just saying, man, we're all going to be accountable, and not just on a macro basis. We're going to be accountable from game to game. And, I mean, the decision with Sundqvist, too, guys, like, one of the first goals against, he just completely blew his assignment on the wall, wasn't available for a breakout pass, out of position, the puck's in the back of the net. And that's the type of stuff from a veteran player. As a coach, you're beating your head off the wall because it shouldn't happen. And so it was a shot across the bow at the team. Obviously, it worked last night, but they also got some great goaltending from the highlights that I saw. I wasn't able to watch the whole game, but I saw some really big saves by Hofer. And listening to Joey and Curbs, it seemed like he had some of the really big moments of the game, too.
Yeah, he really did. And before we get to Hofer, Mike, I am just curious from the NHL perspective, because you said it sucks the air out of the room. How does a move like that resonate moving forward with the players? Is it the fear factor with Montgomery, or is it okay, we all need to pull our heads out of our you-know-whats?
I think this will be positive for them. It's a move that you can't do too often. You can't go to the well with it. It can't be your go-to. It's kind of your new nuclear option. You know, I mean, who else are you going to scratch besides Kyrou that's going to have a bigger impact throughout the locker room? Thomas or Parayko probably would be your only two.
Would Buchnevich be one of them?
Yeah. I mean, but he still doesn't fill the net the same way that Kyrou has. So Buchnevich would be close. Kind of surprised it wasn't there. But, you know, I'm glad to see that Dvorsky's gotten a run here. I don't think they're going to – I'm pretty sure Monty's going to go back to the normal lineup when you see the Blues on the ice the next game. But there is kind of a fine line. You can't overdo it with that, but when you get an opportunity to really shake things up, sometimes that's what you got to do.
Mike McKenna is our guest here on 101 ESPN. He's the former NHL goalie. He joins us each Friday on behalf of Macadoodles. So you mentioned, Mike, you've got a lot going on out there in Chicago right now, so you weren't able to be locked in for the entire game. I don't expect you to break down all 28 of Joel Hofer's saves last night. However, he made 28 of them. He did not get pulled from the game. He did not allow a goal. This is all steps in the right direction for Hofer, given the way that his season has gone. What would it do for the Blues if they just get Joel Hofer back on track? Almost nothing else changes about their game, but Hofer gets back on track. What would that do for this team?
Well, it's a boost of confidence when your goalie is really locked in. And this has been a total team thing. No question in my mind. You know, I'm a goalie apologist. I always get accused, and it's rightfully so. It's part of the goalie union thing. But the team just hasn't been good in general. But we have seen Joel struggle this year at times. That's been surprising. And if you can just get one or two big saves and your team knows it's going to be there, you just play more free. You're not as afraid to make mistakes. You're not locking up. You're enjoying the game more. Like, it's in an odd way, it's actually really a lot of fun to see your goalie make a huge save. Even if your whole team is screwed up in front of them, it is the biggest burst of energy through your bench. Like, and I can gauge this because I sat on the bench a lot, guys. Like, it's a huge boost to your bench when your goalie makes a huge save. And I think that's a big part, you know, and shoot, I mean, last game Benner wasn't any good. I mean, he was chasing all over the place, you know, and I bet you anything the next time he's out, he's going to be right back to his normal self. So goaltending has been down this year for the Blues. It hasn't been as bad as I think people have thought sometimes. I do think Hofer's got a lot more. And last night, again, from the clips that I saw, I thought he looked like himself.
So Mike, I said in our open today, like, I'm not going to fall victim for one good win to feel like the Blues have fixed their issues, because they played well for 3. They had a great win against Edmonton, and then they laid the egg against Washington. So from your perspective, how many games would they have to string together where you can look at them and say, okay, they figured it out?
I think you need 4 out of 5 games that look really good consistently for most of the game. And we're talking like 50 minutes worth. They always talk about playing a 60-minute game. The reality is you can't do that. The other team is going to push back. It happens. But if they get 4 out of 5 games, 5 games in a row where they start to look really good, like they're on a mission, like they did at the end of last season, that's when I'd start to flip the page. Because right now the consistency obviously just hasn't been there for this club, and they're still trying to find their way. I do think if you throw that egg out, it's 3 out of the last 4 games have been pretty good. So hopefully they come out again. Next game looks solid, and their attention to details there, the efforts there, the competes there, all those things you hear Braden Shen talk about every interview that are non-negotiables for the team.
Mike McKenna is a former NHL goalie. He's joining us live from Chicago today on behalf of our friends over at Macadoodles. Mike, I know you're out in Chi-Town this weekend, but for the fine folks here in St. Louis that are looking to get some of those libations this weekend, what can they expect when they walk through the doors at Macadoodles?
The Great Gatsby. We got George Arima's Great Gatsby. It's a really limited edition that's sitting on the shelf. There's still 2 of them left. Priced pretty aggressively, $249.97 seems like an awful lot, but it is also very limited. It's usually more than that. We've got some 13th Colony 113. That's their maple spire finish that just showed up on the shelves. Next Friday, we have a barrel pick from Penelope, Project X Series Spanish Brandy. We have our 4 Roses barrel pick still on the floor, James E. Pepper, which both of you have been able to sample along with Tanner, even though he fell over afterwards. And here's the big thing. Our 1-year anniversary is coming up next Saturday on the 15th. And we're at the corner of Bryan and Feisey Road. We're just north of the Page Extension out in Dardine Prairie. Our party on the 15th is going to be incredible. We're going to have over 20 vendors in doing samplings, tastings, allocated whiskey raffle, E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof, Weller 12, Old Fitz 9. Guys, it's going to be big-time bottles. 5 p.m., one-day event, Saturday, November 15th at Macadoodles.
Love to see it. It's all available for you over at Macadoodles. Mike, appreciate the time as always, man. We'll talk with you again next week.
Sounds good. I'm going to go back to entertaining 500 hockey teams out here in Chicago. This tournament's amazing, man. Having a blast. You guys
Enjoy it. We'll talk with Mike McKenna when he joins us again next week here on BK and Ferrario.
Bradford, if you're listening, go get yourself that Great Gatsby because you're dressed up for a Gatsby party, my man. So
I'm
you
on
need
it.
those. See? There he is.
Those that 4 Roses, the single barrel, it's bang for your buck wise, in my opinion, one of the best whiskey bottles that you can buy.
T-Bone, maybe you need to stay away because Mike said you fell over after you had your shot.
God, that means I had a good time.
Would you look at it that way? Like, let's say that the Blues got the win last night. They win against Seattle. Would you look at that as 4 of 5 good wins with 1 bad one? Or do you think the clock starts with that Buffalo game?
Yes.
Okay.
That's where I am. I mean,
your team was called out publicly by your coach and one of your best players was benched after your last game. That can't be a one-off as a viewpoint. If your coach was that mad after that game, it suggests he wasn't all that happy prior to that game.
And it comes prior to the egg. It's not like you were on a 8-game winning streak. No, you had just snapped a 7-game losing streak. Mm-hmm. So, I got to see 5, 6
starting
in a row.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Starting yesterday, that's game 1. That was basically like ground zero was the morning skate where Kyrou was benched. And then you get into game 1. Now we start to build.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's where I'm at as well. I don't think that one counted Edmonton, and then you just get to pass over the Washington one. If the Washington one was like a 5-4 loss and you played good for 30 minutes and poorly for 30, then I could hear it, but you were terrible from the puck drop. So, I think ground zero started with Buffalo. It was a game you probably didn't deserve to win.
I was about to say the other thing is, frankly, I don't know that they played as well as the score would indicate.
But you do find those at times where you win games you weren't supposed to, and you got the shutout. Your goalie saved you, so you build off of that. And if that's the bad game in the next stretch of 5 games, then you could look at that and saying, okay, we've put it behind. That's why I said at the open, it's like they got to do this for 4 or 5 before I can sit here and act as if that Buffalo Sabres game is the eye-opening moment for them.
Coming up in 15 minutes,
15 seconds.
We're about to see a fork-in-the-road moment for Jordan Kyrou. We've seen this with him before. He responded incredibly well. Is he going to be able to do so again? We'll get into that in 15 minutes. Ask us anything, sports or otherwise, coming up next here on 101 ESPN.
You can now listen to 101 ESPN on demand. Get caught up on all our shows and podcasts at 101ESPN.com or on the 101 mobile app. 101 ESPN podcasts are presented by the Schaefer Door Company. from the Centene Community Ice Center inside the EMB Granite Studios, you're tuned into BK and Ferrario on 101 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmer's Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN. You've got questions, we may have the answers. Maybe. It's BK and Ferrario's Questions and Answers on 101 ESPN.
314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line for Ask Us Anything. If you guys have any questions, sports or otherwise, go ahead and get them in right now on the Air Comfort Service text line. We start out with this one from the 314. Guys, the question I have for you, does Monty put Kyrou back into the lineup tomorrow night? I would assume so, but if so, does another top 6 player potentially come out?
No, because of what Mike McKenna said. And Joey said this on pregame with me last night. You can't do this too much. It's kind of like a one-trick pony. You do it and you're done with it. You sit one guy and you let it resonate with the team, and then you move forward. Because the more you start sitting stars, the more you lose that locker room. And regardless if they lose a locker room, Jim Montgomery's here. But no, I think the moment they scratched him, they told him, you're going back in on Saturday, but we need you to understand why this is happening. And unfortunately, you're the sacrificial lamb for a group of guys that have not performed well. But as Joey told me yesterday, this isn't just because of the Capitals game. His game has dipped in the eyes of Jim Montgomery in the last 4 or 5 games, and they said, we need you to be better. And, I mean, look, they did this for Pavel Buchnevich against Vancouver. Now, it wasn't a full game. They took him off the number 1 power play unit for an entire period. Like, that's meaningful to a guy that has pride of being on the top unit. And then last night, we're going to talk about it in the 1 o'clock hour, they skipped over Robert Thomas for a few shifts. So he's making moves to resonate. But, yeah, I put Kyrou back in the lineup. I think I probably keep Sundqvist out, and Texier is the one that comes out of the lineup.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think you have to put Kyrou because, again, I'm with you. I think you can only do this once. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And the team was destined never to turn this around.
Then you need the front office to take over.
Exactly. And I think you put him back in. Texier comes out. I don't think you put Sundqvist back in. You probably don't put Mailloux back in. That one is a little different because he's a younger player. But, yeah Kyrou's got to go back into the starting lineup.
I would go Booch, Thomas with Snuggie. Just keep that line as is.
Agreed.
I'd keep the second line as is. Holloway, Pius Suter, Braden Shen. And then on my third line, I would have Matthew Joseph, Dalibor Dvorsky, Jordan Kyrou.
100%.
Fourth line, Torpo, Bukestad, Walker.
Remember that first game that Dalibor Dvorsky played against Vancouver? It was Kyrou, Dvorsky, and Joseph, and they were awesome in that game. Yep. So, yeah, it's exactly what I did.
Joseph has been so good for this team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From the 314, guys, do you think that Deion Sanders will quit after this season for health-related reasons? I think it's at least got to be in play. It's gone really poorly for Colorado this year. He doesn't sound like a guy that is as into it as he was early on. And it's a full rebuild there. Is he somebody that's going to want to stick around? I know that people would maybe look at it and say it's fake. Man, he's dealt with some legitimate health issues.
Yeah.
So I A, don't think it would be all that surprising, and B, would totally understand it if he decided to go about it that way. What he did there was pretty amazing. They had 2 or 3 seasons where, probably 2 seasons where things were actually like, oh, okay, this is going to be really interesting. And now it's not going well.
Yeah. And if I'm him, my health is the number 1 priority. My family's the number 1 priority.
Absolutely.
I'm not enjoying life doing this with my health concerns. So, yeah, I step away and I focus on myself and time with my family.
Yeah, I agree. I think you maybe step down because of the health situation.
From the 618, BK, are you disappointed that the Chiefs weren't willing to give up a 3rd round pick for Breece Hall? Nope. Wouldn't have given up a top 100 pick for a guy that is going to give you 2.5 months of work.
I don't think you need it. Like, Pacheco hasn't been amazing, but they've been fine. And Pacheco and Kareem Hunt are exactly what that team needs. You get to the red zone, you know what you have.
Yeah.
I would not have given up a 3rd round pick for a running back. I would have done exactly what they did. I'll give you a 4th round pick. If you decide that that's not worth your while, fine. We'll go our separate ways and we'll go a different direction. I do think they should have given up a 3rd round pick or maybe a little bit less, but they should have added somebody that could help their defensive line. That to me was the mistake, not trading.
Would you have done the 1st and 2nd for?
No.
I don't know if it would have gotten it done anyway, because that's not ideal for the Jets.
Yeah, it's not as good of a pick potentially. Like they would have probably had to give up 2 first-round picks for him. For Quinnen Williams, I guess is who you're asking about. And I don't think they could have made it work money-wise either. So it wouldn't have made sense money-wise. It wouldn't have made sense draft pick-wise. Quinnen Williams didn't fit with what they were trying to do. Draymond Jones was a defensive end that was traded to the Ravens. He got a 5th round pick. I would have done that. a third-round pick was traded from the Eagles to the Miami Dolphins for Jalen Phillips, I would have considered doing that. If you were going to trade a third-round pick, I would be much more likely to do so for Jalen Phillips than for Breece Hall personally.
Yeah, and I agree with you, especially that defensive line, because it hasn't been as good this year. But they don't need the running game to be explosive, right? The running game for the Chiefs is, hey, just keep us ahead of the sticks for right now. Like, get us 3 yards on first down, maybe get us 3 yards when we need it on, like, 3rd and 2. Their explosiveness comes from their passing game. Their passing game is elite with the weapons that they've got at wide receiver. They don't necessarily need an explosive running back.
From Mahomes Long Body, what's your go-to cold weather day meal? For me, it's lasagna. We do a lot of chili at our household.
I like lasagna.
Turkey chili.
Yeah, chili, ravioli, lasagna, anything like that. Anything pasta-wise is typically the stuff that we do at home.
We do ravioli for Christmas, so that's very nostalgic for me.
Lasagna or ravioli is one Thanksgiving, one Christmas.
Yeah, I would say it's either chili or some kind of soup.
Katie does soup.
With.
God, I hate soup.
Oh, really? Oh, I love soup.
Katie does soup for meals, and I'm like, oh, God.
Nothing like a good tomato soup with a grilled cheese.
She made some homemade minestrone last night, and she goes, I think this is going to be great. And she put it in front of the girls, and all my girls got, blah.
Sad.
For me. From the 314, guys, given the preseason expectations, would you consider this to be a failure of a season for Illinois? We all view this a little differently. I would say no. I think this season has been one of the best in recent memory for the Illinois Fighting Illini, and I would say this is like maybe the best 2 to 3 year stretch that they've had in recent memory. So,
and it's fun, right?
Yeah, I think it's fun to watch.
You having fun,
program.
T-Bone?
No.
T-Bone disagrees with me.
I think the season was a failure. I mean, they had playoff expectations, and they weren't even close in. I know the score showed it was close against Washington. They weren't close in all 3 of their games they lost. They couldn't get stops in any of those games. So I say it's a failure. And like, this is fun, and we can say like, hey, this is a great 2 year stretch. They go 6-6 next year. It meant nothing for them because they've got all these recruits.
You've got those memories. We disagree on this.
You've got those memories.
There's a chance I don't remember them over the next.
You know what? Those memories of the Stanley Cup were fun, but it's starting to get a little old for me in 2019.
Well, like that team was like a playoff team. It's like saying like, remember that like 9 seed that missed by a couple of games? No.
College football is different because when you win 9 games, it should mean something to you as a program. It doesn't
Not anymore.
That's fine.
I think it used to. I think back when it was
at a program like Illinois,
2-team, 4-team.
Sorry, but your program has not had the historic. I
mean, if Illinois, Vandy, Virginia can all be in conversations of being a playoff team, I'm not saying they should be in the playoff hunt every single year.
This team wasn't that good.
This was the year they returned most of their production.
That's the thing to me that changes the conversation. We have to be willing to change our priors. Like, some teams just aren't as good as their preseason expectations. This Illinois team wasn't as good as its preseason expectations were. And so once we watched them play, I think we all probably had to come to a realization relatively quickly, oh yeah, this is not the same team that we were maybe expecting it to be. Their defense isn't very good. So once you see that, and I changed my priors, like that's like Mizzou's offense. Once we saw them against SEC competition, that offense is not what it was against the non-SEC opponents. Expectations have to change a little bit. And so it wasn't a failure of a season for Mizzou once they get into regular season and that offense isn't as good. And at a certain point in time, don't you have to change your expectations? Or no?
I think yes, at some point, but when you have playoff expectations, I think it is fair to say, okay, like the Indiana game was when we first saw, like, okay, there is real issues to this Illinois defense. But still, like, they should have been able to make some adjustments. I get it, losing to Ohio State. The Washington loss was unacceptable. They should have been able to beat Washington on the road.
But they're not as good as Washington.
See, I don't think they're as bad. Like, to me, they should not have gotten picked apart like that. I think it's their DC's just not good. That's what I would say it is. Now, I don't know if they're going to move on from him at the end of the year, but that's where I would circle as their biggest problem. Their defensive coordinator never makes adjustments in game.
Alongside T-Bone and Alex, I'm BK. Back in the studio for us today is our guy, Bradford Bruns. He is dressed to impress today as he's going to the Mizzou versus SEMO game later on this evening. And then tomorrow we'll be in attendance as Missouri takes on Texas A&M. Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll give you our football picks for the upcoming weekend. We'll see if any of us are picking that Mizzou versus Texas A&M game. But next, we're about to see a potential fork in the road moment for Jordan Kyrou. What is it going to mean for him? Is he going to be able to respond this time around? We'll get into that next year on 101 ESPN.
Jamie Rivers here, and it is time for another one of my jersey giveaways. And right now, you can register to score a signed Jordan Binnington Blues jersey. Yes, beautiful Jordan Binnington Blues jersey. Gotta love it.
Enter to win that autographed Binner jersey at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app. Jamie's jersey giveaway is presented by St. Luke's, ranked top 2% in the nation for cardiac surgery by Health Grades. Visit stlukes-stl.com. That's stlukes-stl.com.
WXOS HD1 East St. Louis, 101 ESPN is driven by Brown and Crouppen Law Firm. BK and Ferrario are broadcasting live from the E&B Granite Studios at the Centene Community Ice Center, presented by Bud Light and Skimmer's Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN.
Inside Alex and T-Bone on BK. So yesterday could be a fork in the road moment for Jordan Kyrou's time here in St. Louis. I don't know what comes next. I truly don't know. I don't know if he's going to be here for the next, 6 years. I don't know if he's going to be here for the next 6 weeks. And I don't know what his performance is going to look like after getting healthy scratched yesterday. Now, Alex, everything we've heard is that he responded the right way. It sure sounds like he heard the message from Jim Montgomery, said, all right, I'll be better. And hopefully he's back in the lineup tomorrow, and he takes off from here.
Yeah, he told Joey yesterday off record, and Joey told me this on pregame. He said, look, this is on me. It's like I haven't been good enough for my teammates. I need to be better, and I'm going to be better. That's what he told Joe.
So fingers crossed that's the case. We'll see. Last time that we saw something like this, it was when Jordan Kyrou was booed on home ice and had those comments about Craig Berube.
Yeah, where he told JR, he said, not my coach.
And that was in mid-December of 2013. 2023. He wasn't
2013, Ken Hitchcock was here.
Did he have a comment on
No, probably not.
After that, Alex, he responded in a big way, a really big way. He played well the rest of that season. He had 13 points in his next 12 games, including 7 goals. That's my hope. I hope Jordan Kyrou gets back onto the ice and he looks like the best player and we get back to the player that he was early this season because he was playing at such a high level, man. If you had to prognosticate what we're going to see, what would be your guess?
I think he's going to be awesome in the game against Seattle, but I don't think that's what they're measuring it off of. I don't know this for a fact, but my tinfoil would tell me that they've pulled tape from the Dallas Stars game and said, Jordan, this is what we know you're capable of. The goal for you to get to the level that we want is to play this way every single night. So he could go and rattle off 12 points in 13 games and be awesome. The Blues want to see it from now until the end of the season. Now, there's going to be hiccups. There's going to be bad games that he's played, and those happen. But how do you respond to it? Because what they don't want to happen is when you go into a hole, you just disappear on the ice like he's done in these last 4 or 5 games. I would imagine. I think he's going to be great in the Seattle game because Jordan Kyrou has responded before. And Jordan Kyrou told Joey that, look, I need to be better. He knows what he does when he's great. He knows what Jim Montgomery wants. You go into the boards, you battle for pucks, you come out with them. You're great in your own end, and it generates offense chances in your other end. Don't straight leg it in the neutral zone. The tougher part for Jordan Kyrou now is the Blues just had a prime example of a guy responding to Jim Montgomery healthy scratching him in Matthew Joseph. Now, Matthew Joseph and Jordan Kyrou play very different brands of hockey, but Jim Montgomery wants the style that Matthew Joseph plays. He wants some of those elements to come into Jordan Kyrou's game. So I don't think this is going to be he looks great in one game and he scores a hat trick against Seattle. I think it's going to be, what do you do the next 5 games, the next 10 games, the next 20 games? That's the level that they want Jordan Kyrou to hit.
Do you think, I'm truly asking this, I don't know the answer. Are players across the NHL that produce the way that Jordan Kyrou does, are they viewed the way that Jordan Kyrou is? Because I struggle with this, man. Like,
who would be the comps for you? Like, we've talked Alex DeBrincat before, but the thing about DeBrincat is he wins those puck battles, at least from the coach's perspective. Like, that, to me, is the biggest thing. It's not hits. It's not blocked shots. It's not his plus-minus. What they want from Kyrou is you need to win those puck battles.
So the closest players in terms of production to Jordan Kyrou over the last few seasons, like this is since the start of 2021, Jordan Kyrou in that time, goal scoring wise, 27, 37, 31, 36 goals. And then so far this year, he's got the 4.
Yeah.
And every year basically is somewhere between 70 and 75 points. It's been incredibly consistent. If you're just looking at the raw points and goals total over that stretch of time, not looking game by game at the consistency. The guys that are most similar to him are Dylan Larkin, Kevin Fiala, Alex DeBrincat, Nazem Kadri, Jonathan Huberdeau, other guys kind of in this range, Adrian Kempe, but obviously that's an incredibly different style of player. Yeah. So those are probably the closest ones. Larkin, Fiala, DeBrincat, Kadri, Huberdeau.
Larkin and Kadri, not even close. Those guys play better. And better in the sense of they're physical on the puck and going for puck battles. I think DeBrincat has been that. I don't know if he's that all the time, but Alex DeBrincat's a guy that can go hot and cold with his offense. I would say more in line with maybe a Jonathan Huberdeau, more in line with I forget who the other one was that you mentioned.
Kempe was
Fiala.
Fiala is another really good example. Like Kevin Fiala's big thing in Minnesota was he was a perimeter player. He'd kind of wait for his opening and he'd capitalize on it. Maybe not so much in the other end of the ice. The Blues play a certain style. It's like a DNA that the coaches want. And Jim Montgomery is basically telling them, like, look, we need you to be aggressive, because the way that they do this is the forward that goes in for the puck, you're the F1. You're the guy that's challenging for it. You're the one that's making sure that the puck comes out of the board and that you create that cycle game in the offensive zone.
Is it realistic for Kyrou to be that guy?
I was just at, because to me, what I see...
mean, Holloway's that guy, and Holloway's small.
Yeah, but I think Holloway's a more aggressive Energizer Bunny type
But see,
player.
the hard part is Kyrou played this way. He played this way against Winnipeg Jets in the series last year.
Until he got hit. And what he really did was like 3 games of it, if we're being fair.
Yeah, but down the stretch, he and Holloway played that style. And then, again...
But really, it was Holloway playing that style, and Kyrou as the benefactor.
The line played it as a unit. And even if he's not as aggressive, he still was aggressive in the offensive zone for puck battles. Like, it's a unit that's out there. And the other thing with them, too, is you saw it against Dallas. And the Blues are just essentially telling them, we can't have you. This is why he pulled Jordan Kyrou and Pavel Buchnevich aside in that practice. We can't have you coming in and out of games. We need you to be there every single night. And he was in the early portion of the season, because I was with you guys. First 8 games, Jordan Kyrou was the best and most consistent player on the ice. But his play dipped.
I just think it's crazy that we, maybe this is just hockey. Maybe this is me not being a hockey guy. I'm open to that. And we've had this conversation, it feels like 1,000,000 times with Jordan Kyrou. We're talking about a guy that consistently scores 30 goals and consistently puts up 70 points. And somebody on the text line said, guys, do you could build around Alex DeBrincat? No, you don't build around Jordan Kyrou either. Maybe not. But I'm not asking them to build around this guy as their franchise cornerstone. He's making $8 million a year. That is an absolute bargain for 30 goals per season. And you can use that even if you want to on your third line.
But the problem is they've invested in Buchnevich, and Thomas to be the face of the franchises.
Sure, but that to me says more about Booch than it does either of the other 2 guys.
I think it says both. And this is why it's not just Kyrou. We're talking about Kyrou. I think Pavel Buchnevich should be in this exact same category. Now, there are some that believe Pavel Buchnevich wins those puck battles. He plays a good defensive style of hockey. I just feel like he also disappears in games. So I'm not
doesn't produce.
Yeah.
That to me is the biggest difference. Even if you think he's doing those board battles and he is more aggressive and he's more competitive, well, sure, he has to be. That is his game. If he doesn't do those things, what else is he
But what
bringing,
happens when Kyrou doesn't produce and also doesn't
Then
forecheck?
I think it's fair to have those conversations, but I haven't seen that in 5 years.
That was the last 5 games for him, though.
Sure, but he does that
coming
all
off
the
an
time.
I understand that, but there's a reason it was a stretch of 5 games where they said it's not good enough. We need you to be better.
But I haven't seen Booch play well for how many games we played? 14 this year. He's got 3 even strength points. I mean, we can talk about battle.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
To me, what I am seeing right now is we talk about a lot of, there's a lot of conversations across all sports of, a coach has a specific style he wants to play. Does he force the players to play that, or does he adapt to what his players are? And I'm not seeing Jim Montgomery adapt to what he has. That's what I saw with the Kyrou benching. That's what I saw from Jim Montgomery.
See, I disagree
Kyrou is what
with that.
he is. If the Blues want to be this identity that you're talking about, I'm fine with it. He should have been traded in the offseason is what they should have done.
They certainly should do so now, and I'm not advocating for it. I think this team can and should win with Jordan Kyrou. I think they should continue to build around him. I think he is far from their biggest issue, but they seem to disagree with that notion. It seems like the only one who believes in Jordan Kyrou as being a player they can build around is the guy that makes the decision to trade him. It seems like everybody else, players, coaches, everybody that is around this organization outside of Doug Armstrong is leading us to believe this is not a guy that we can win with. We can't play this style and have this guy on our team as an $8 million player. And so if that is truly the belief internally, they should trade him, man. I don't believe that. I don't think they should do it.
I think they're hoping that this decision can be an eye-opening moment for him because, look, players hit crossroads at certain points to where they realize they have to step their game up. He had it happen to him in the Berube one. Now this is more performance-based. And I think the Blues are hoping they can get the Kyrou that they've seen since that Craig Berube comment back. The problem is I don't know if it will. I don't know how he responds to this. So that's why I'm curious to see what it looks like for the rest of this season.
You asked, what does this look like for him? I agree with what Alex said when we started the segment. I expect he's going to play well. You're probably going to notice him more on, back checking if we're going to talk about board battles for this tiny guy, Jordan Kyrou, going in there. Yeah, he'll get in there for these first couple games. He's going to get back to the same guy he just was. And that's not a shot against Jordan Kyrou because I'm on BK side in this. But to think that he's suddenly going to go in there and fight on the boards for a full 82-game season, that's ridiculous. That is not his game. His game is more being on the outside. His game is more of how he's going to go be the Energizer Bunny. Well, I'm there to reap more of the benefits. But not only reap the benefits, he's their finisher. He is their guy to become the go-to scorer when they need it.
Or one of them. This is the other thing is I think he's been a little miscast as this. He is the number one goal scorer on a championship caliber team. I don't think he is that.
I don't think he is either.
But he's not paid to be that either. He's paid $8 million, and in the new cap, that is what you pay to second and third line wingers.
And You're has to be that guy.
$6.5 million to third line centers across the league right now.
They paid him to be it. I mean, I know he's not making what the league is making. They paid him to be the number one goal scorer.
Well, then they screwed up. If that is honest to God how they viewed him to be as their long-term player, they messed up. But he's not paid that. That's like saying in Major League Baseball, we're paying $20 million for the starter. He's got to be our number one guy. Well, you're not paying for that. If you're paying $20 million, that's a number 3 or 4 starter in Major League Baseball nowadays. Like Shota Imanaga, he's going to get the qualifying offer. He's probably going to take it. That's a number 3 or 4 starter in today's game. In the NHL, $8 million for a winger is a second or third line winger. He's like the third or fourth best winger on most teams. And if you're paying for a legitimate number one go-to guy, those guys are making double what Jordan Kyrou is making nowadays. So I just think it's an unfair and unreasonable expectation for him to be the number one go-to scorer on a championship caliber team. He, since the start of the 2021 season, is 42nd in the NHL in points. That's a good player. It's a really good player. It's not a championship number one guy. In that same stretch of time in terms of goal scoring prowess, he's 30th. That's pretty good. That means almost every team in the NHL has a guy that's a better goal scorer than Jordan Kyrou. And they should, because most teams in the NHL have a player that's paid more than Jordan Kyrou, who you would expect to be a better goal scorer than him. So this whole Jordan Kyrou saga, frankly, I'm exhausted by it. I have grown so incredibly frustrated and bored by the conversation because it doesn't feel as though anything new is being said by most people. I just, at this point, it's kind of a bleep or get off of the pot. If you don't think you can win with this dude, cool. I'm not even going to push back against it anymore. That's fine. Trade him. If you honest to God believe it, then just move him. And if you don't, then live with the kind of player that he is. Because it's not going to change, man. He's not going to suddenly become a board battle winner. It's never been his game. It's never going to be his game. It probably will be for 5 games. And then he's going to revert back to his habits. Because that's what players do. They revert back to who they are. We all do that. It's human nature. Some of us will go to the gym for a week starting in January.
Not it.
And maybe you go there again that second week. No. What are you doing in July? Most people that do the New Year's resolutions thing, they don't continue to go to the gym by July because they fall back into their old habits. It's not a shot against anybody. It's just human nature. So I'm sorry, Alex. None of this is directed at you. I want to make that very clear. I'm just so exhausted by the conversation surrounding Jordan Kyrou because we've been saying the same thing since the moment that he became a player that they decided they were building around.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with anything that you're saying. I think we had these conversations in the offseason that said if you're going to keep talking about it, then you might as well trade him. It's been an issue, at least from the Blues perspective, for the last few years, and I don't know what this saga is going to look like. Frankly, there's going to be noise around it now because he was a healthy scratch. Who knows how this thing comes about? I will say for the people that believe you just need to stop it with Kyrou and let him play. I mean, the cautionary tale is when you trade a player of that ilk, he can go elsewhere and have success. Trevor Zegras is doing that right now. Now, he wasn't a 30-plus goal scorer every single season with Anaheim, but he had issues that the team didn't value. And they said, we can't get anything out of it anymore. Move him on. Now he's a point-per-game player in Philadelphia, and he's playing for a coach that wants you to play that physical puck battle forecheck play. It's Rick Tocchet in Philadelphia. And he's a point-per-game player, and now they're talking about extending him. So it's a cautionary tale of, look, you could get frustrated with the player and you could say trade him. He might go on and become a 40-goal scorer and be the superstar that you didn't have, and maybe it was just a change of scenery that got it done. But all of this comes back to what does he respond with? Because, again, Matthew Joseph, who plays a very different style of hockey, he responded as one of the best players on the ice last night when he was a healthy scratch. He was pissed he was a healthy scratch. How does Jordan Kyrou do it? And again, I don't think this is going to be what he does versus Seattle. So let's not come on the air Monday morning when he scores a hat trick against the Kraken and say, I knew Jim Montgomery's got to go. He's healthy scratch at Jordan Kyrou. It ain't about one game. It's about 20 games. It's about 40 games. What do you look like by the end of the season? Did you play that style?
Alongside Alex and T-Bone on BK, our football pick'em is next year on 101 ESPN.
It's time for another moment in Blues history.
On this day back in 1987, the Blues would beat the Maple Leafs 4-3 on the road. Toronto would score the first 2 goals, but then 3 unanswered by St. Louis. Bernie Federko, Rob Whistle, and Tony McKegney on the power play. Toronto would even up the score, and then Brian Benning would score on the power play in the 3rd period.
This date in Blues history is powered by Classic Air Care.
Make your life more comfortable for all your HVAC, plumbing, and electrical needs. ClassicAirCare.com.
ESPN has your chance to win a pair of tickets to this year's Musial Awards. Coming up Saturday night, November 22nd at Stifel Theater. Known as the most inspiring night in sports, the Musial Awards celebrate the year's greatest moments of sportsmanship and those in sport who embody class and character, including this year's honorees, which include figure skating icon Christy Yamaguchi. Check out all the details on this year's Musial Awards and enter to score a free pair of tickets now at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app. Broadcasting live from the Centene Community Ice Center inside the E&B Granite Studios. This is BK and Ferrario on 101 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmers Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN.
Ready to go?
I'm ready. It feels good. I'm looking down at you guys after 1 week.
It is time for our football
You're still
pick-em.
looking up overall.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. Alongside Alex and T-Bone on BK, we do this each and every Friday here on BK and Ferrario. We will pick 3 games against the spread. We rank them on a scale of 1 to 3. It's super simple. No props, no point totals, nothing like that. Just against the spread. College football, NFL, it's all in play for us. If you're new to this, Alex has been kicking our ass all year long. He has 35 points on the season. T-Bone has 25. I have 23, bringing up the rear. Could have seen that one coming. This month, though, we're 1 week in. T-Bone has 3 points after a week. I have 2. Alex is in last place. Something that he's very unfamiliar with this season.
Well, last year I was very familiar with it.
Only 1 point. So this week, T-Bone will pick first. I will go second. Alex will be the third in our pick'em. T-Bone, get us started with your 1 point play.
Guys, BK tried to jump on this trick, and it didn't work for him, but I'm confident it will for me. Wisconsin sucks. They've lost 6 games this year, and their losses this season, their average losses by 23 points, and somehow Washington is only a 10.5-point favorite on the road at Wisconsin. They've had some weird struggles when they go on the road, but at this point, Wisconsin's so bad. Even if you get off to a slow start, they should be able to right the ship. So give me Washington minus 10.5 at the Wisconsin Badgers.
I picked Oregon to cover the spread against those Wisconsin Badgers. I'm probably overreacting to this, but in a reaction to that game, I am now going to pick Iowa to cover the spread against Oregon this weekend. Iowa is a 6.5-point home underdog in this game, and I think they will cover that spread. I think this will be a 1-touchdown game. You look at the way that Iowa has played this season, everything has either been close or a win. They lost by 3 on the road at Iowa State. They lost only by 5 at home earlier this season against Indiana. They played Indiana better than anybody else has so far this season. I'm not expecting much out of their offense. It's going to be an ugly atmosphere out there in Iowa. 40 degrees, windy, rainy. That is perfect for what Iowa is looking to do in this game. Oregon, despite what we thought of them coming into the season, has really not looked like that team in more than a month. Went to overtime against a bad, what we now know to be a bad Penn State team. Lost by 10 at home against Indiana. Did not look great against Wisconsin. Coming off of a bye, maybe they'll look better. I'm not betting on it. I instead will be betting on Iowa, plus the 6.5 points at home against Oregon.
All right. I'm obviously in the NHL. I'm tied between 2 games on this one, but I'm going to lean with the underdog. I'm taking Steelers plus 3 on the road against the Chargers. I think Pittsburgh's feeling pretty good about themselves after that win against the Colts. The Chargers are already down another tackle as Joe Alt, I think, left that last game. He's not coming back. So right now feels like it's where the Steelers maybe put some on a little bit. They're on the road, plus 3. I was kind of hoping to get a little bit better hook, but I think Pittsburgh wins this one straight up. So that's my 1 point play.
I like it. I considered that one. It was one of my plays potentially in the NFL. But for my 2 point play, guys, put a fork in the home team because their season is done. That would be the Missouri Tigers. I like A&M on the road this weekend, minus 6.5 points. Look, I really like that Missouri defense, and I think they are going to be the reason that this game, it feels close early on. I just don't know how Missouri scores points. A&M's going to get their share. I think they easily will win this by a touchdown or more, especially going up against the true freshman quarterback. So give me A&M minus 6.5 at the Missouri Tigers.
Alex?
Yep, go for it. Take Mizzou, your 3 point play, you coward.
I am going to take this Mizzou game as my 3 point play.
Say it. Back Zollers, you coward.
I have picked with my heart over my head far too often this year.
And worked.
I, this week, will be picking with my head over my heart.
Oh, yes.
The Texas A&M Aggies are going to come to Columbia this weekend, and they are going to make Matt Zollers look like a true freshman quarterback.
Bradford, click this off and send it over to Eli Drinkwitz.
They have the best pass rush in the SEC. Missouri's offensive line has not looked good in recent weeks. Remember what the offense looked like at Auburn? Thank God Auburn had an offense that was every bit as happy to give the ball back as Missouri was that day. Otherwise, Missouri would have lost that game.
Yeah, but that was Prebula.
It was. This is a true freshman quarterback who has now been put on film for a week against Vanderbilt, who is going up against that greatest pass rush in the SEC. Whew, that makes me a little nervous. Now, Texas A&M does have some deficiencies on defense, and this could be the week we see Ahmad Hardy get going again. They have allowed the most explosive runs in the SEC this season, Texas A&M has. So that if this goes wrong for me, that's how it goes wrong. I don't think it will. I think Texas A&M wins this game by more than a touchdown. I've got the Aggies -6.5.
Let's celebrate, Tigers fans. MIZ coming out with a win.
I don't feel great that he's backing me, but there's just something that puts a smile on my face hearing him talk so high about A&M while wearing his Mizzou jacket.
Yeah, that one felt good. All right, 2-point play for me. 7.5 spread. I'm taking the Detroit Lions on the road against Washington. -7.5 seems like a lot, but they don't have Jaden Daniels. Their defense has been awful. Lions are coming off of a bad loss to the Vikings. I think Detroit is going to put it on Washington in this one.
Yeah, I had no good feel on that one. 7.5 is what scared me away from it.
I think this is a 14-point win for Detroit.
Oh, wow, really?
I think Jahmyr Gibbs was too silent in that last game. I think their defense comes out ready to play against Marcus Mariota. And the defense on Washington can't stop anything. Can't stop a flood. And the Lions are going to stop the flood. They're going to pour it on them. That is a terrible analogy by me. I wish I would have stopped earlier.
My 3-point play, the only reason A&M was not my 3-point play like it is for BK is because I think there's a better road favorite. Guys, Sammy Hagar had a song that said, "Where Eagles fly, they don't fly in Boston, Massachusetts." Boston College is awful. I feel bad for people out in Massachusetts that have to watch that terrible program. Yeah, they've overperformed a little bit over the last couple weeks. Yeah, they kind of were able to hang around a little bit for Notre Dame. They're terrible. SMU's coming into town. The Mustangs, -11.5. They are going to bulldoze their way through there in Massachusetts. So give me SMU -11.5 at Boston College.
All right, T-Bone. I have my 2-point play remaining. I've got Iowa as my 1-point play, Texas A&M as my 3-point play. I am going to the NFL side of things for my 2-point play.
I really hope you don't take my 3-point play.
T-Bone's Rams are a very good football team. I like them a lot. They seem to have some issues at times with the 49ers, though. These games are almost always close. Last year, earlier this season, it was an overtime game. Last year, the 2 games were decided by 6 and 3. The year prior, 1 and 7. These games are almost always close. I believe that this spread is a little too big. I think it's going to be a 3-point game one way or the other. It is Rams -4.5. Give me the 49ers as the home team plus the 4.5 points against the Rams.
I love the Rams in this one. I love the Rams because I think the 49ers are just a shell of themselves right now.
I like that play of San Fran. I think the Rams will win, but I do think San Fran will cover because San Fran always gives McVay problems in the regular season. In the postseason, he's had Shanahan's number. He cannot seem to beat him in the regular season. I think he will this time, but I do think it will be close, like BK was just saying.
My 3-point play is in the NFC West as well. I am taking the Seahawks -6.5 at home against the Cardinals.
I seriously considered.
Now, I know Kyler's not playing. They're going with Brissett, who's been good for them. But Seattle right now, they made their moves at the deadline. They upgraded on offense. I think this is the game that Seattle goes out there and pours it on. Home game. I don't know how Arizona, even as good as Brissett is, Seattle's defense is really good. And I think they're going to really make life difficult for Arizona. So 3-point play, the one I had the most confidence in. I love that hook at 6.5, -6.5 Seahawks.
All right. We have our 3 plays each. T-Bone is going with 3 plays in the college football side of things. He doesn't even have to watch the games on Sunday. He's good to go.
0-3 is going to suck on Sunday.
3 road favorites. What could possibly go wrong for T-Bone? Washington -10.5 at Wisconsin. He's got Texas A&M at Mizzou, and he's got SMU as the road favorite against Boston College. I am going with a rarity. 2 college football teams, Iowa and Texas A&M. I also have the 49ers on Sunday. And Alex, who could have seen this one coming, 3 NFL picks against the spread this weekend. The Steelers, the Lions, and the Seahawks. Whether you want to fade us, you want to follow us, you can do exactly that. We will reveal our winners coming up on Monday. I will also go ahead and pay off my pick'em punishment from the month of October.
Are you doing it on Monday? You complained last time. You're like, oh, there's a lot going on.
On like Tuesday or Wednesday as well. Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. In 15 minutes, we're going to dive into the junk drawer. But next, we can go ahead and eliminate a few players from the Cardinals wish list this offseason. We'll tell you who they are next here on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN listeners, please support the Countdown to Thanksgiving campaign to benefit Operation Food Search. Hosted by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill, Coca-Cola, and 101 ESPN. Drop off a non-perishable food donation at any area Lee's or Hot Shots location now through November 21st. And every donation earns a free Coca-Cola beverage. All food collected will go to Operation Food Search to help local families in need this holiday season. And each donor can enter to win a prize package that includes gift cards to Lee's, Hot Shots, and hockey tickets. Help make the holidays brighter for local families in need. Get all the details to the Countdown to Thanksgiving to benefit Operation Food Search now at 101ESPN.com.
Get ready, sports fans. BetMGM is coming soon to Missouri. On November 17th, sports fans in Missouri can pre-register and get up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if their first bet loses, plus an additional $100 in bonus bets if they deposit before December 1st. Enjoy a betting app that was designed for game day with features like live bets, same-game parlays, BetMGM rewards points, and surprise boosts dropping in your account all throughout the season. It's everything a sports fan could want in one app. Pre-registration is coming soon to Missouri on November 17th. BetMGM. Make it legendary. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Missouri only. New customer offer subject to eligibility requirements and minimum deposit of $10. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Pending BetMGM's licensure as a mobile sports wagering operator with the Missouri Gaming Commission. Register for a Missouri online sports wagering account starting November 17th. BetMGM's issuance of a welcome offer is conditional on full licensure.
Louis Blues hockey can be heard exclusively on 101 ESPN. Get the info you need before and after every Blues game with a First Community pre- and post-game show. First Community Credit Union.
Take your best shot with First Community and presented by Scott Lee Heating Company and Urban Chestnut Brewing Company.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
Sabres bow down to Blues. Good afternoon. I'm Bradford Bruns. Your Sports Center update is presented by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Having lost 8 of its last 9, St. Louis responded with authority Thursday night. 28 saves for Joel Hofer in his 3rd NHL shutout as the note topped Buffalo 3-0. Jim Montgomery's club now returns home. Seattle invading Enterprise Center tomorrow at 6 p.m. Our pregame coverage on 101 ESPN beginning 1 hour earlier. College football, Texas A&M awaits number 22 Mizzou. Mike Elko's Aggies remaining undefeated, while Eli Drinkwitz summons freshman QB Matt Zollers here after Bo Perbula exited versus Vanderbilt almost 2 weeks ago. Elsewhere, that Big 12 battle pits 7th-ranked BYU against Texas Tech. Big 10 country featuring Oregon, Iowa, Illinois is idle. Your Sports Center update was powered by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
This is BK and Ferrario on 101 ESPN. Broadcasting live from the E&B Granite Studios at the Centene Community Ice Center. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmer's Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN.
Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. It's BK and Ferrario here on 101 ESPN. Alex, we can go ahead and eliminate the following players from any offseason wish list for the St. Louis Cardinals.
I got to imagine all these names I eliminated before you even brought this segment up, but go for it.
Probably. Bo Bichette, Kyle Schwarber, Kyle Tucker, Framber Valdez, Dylan Cease, Edwin Diaz, Ranger Suarez, Zach Gallen, Shota Imanaga, Michael King, Trent Grisham, Gleyber Torres, and Brandon Woodruff. If you had any feelings of the Cardinals approaching one of them this offseason in free agency, I would recommend you just shun those thoughts from your mind. That includes me. I was somebody that said, I think Dylan Cease would be a fun player for the Cardinals. I think Zach Gallen might even be a guy that you could at least consider betting on for the long term. Maybe Shota is a guy who you saw him end up getting non-tendered or a weird situation with his options. And maybe that makes sense. Michael King, I know you've brought up his name before, T-Bone. Shun it. Get it all out of your mind because they were all given the qualifying offer yesterday. Which means if the Cardinals were to sign one of those players via free agency, they would have to give up, I believe it's like their 2nd pick in this year's Major League Baseball draft. I'd be shocked if they decided to do that in the midst of what is a rebuild. So we can go ahead and stop talking about any of those names.
Cool.
Do you guys have any disagreement with that?
Nope. Who wants to head to the $5 bin?
Oh,
Let's dive right in and find out what's there because the Gallen one hurts. I thought that one would be...
I thought it was at least possible that they wouldn't QO him.
I thought you could have reshaped your rotation in a way to make it more competitive if you would have signed Dustin May and Zach Gallen. Like that would have been an ideal offseason for me. 2-year deal for Gallen, 2-year deal for May. And you know what? If it works and your team's competitive, great. If not, you trade them at the deadline and you get something for it. But time to look for Uncle Buck at the bottom of that bin.
Yeah, it's disappointing because I was kind of in line with you to where I was thinking, okay, you take on a reclamation project, whether it's Dustin May. I love the idea of like a Jordan Montgomery on a 1-year deal. And then you sign one of these guys like Michael King was the guy, Dylan Cease, one of them. And now that they've got the QO, like it's hard for me to envision Chaim Bloom, who wants to try originally. Now, I don't know if he'll pivot off of this once they were 5 years into this build and who knows where they're at. But he's clearly made it a point of what the build is going to look like, at least in the beginning, is drafting, developing from within, and then see where you go from there. Well, okay, if we're in year 1 of him doing that, yeah, he's not going to be losing a draft pick to go out there and sign a guy. And for being honest, doing that for an arm at the state that they're at, it's a big gamble because you'd be giving up a pick, and who knows how healthy these guys are really going to be.
The top starting pitchers on the market this offseason, Merrill Kelly, good pitcher. I don't know age-wise if he fits into what you're trying to do.
Going more to a contender at this point in his career.
Lucas Giolito, I could see the case for that. That one would make some sense to me. Chris Bassett, again, kind of similar.
Yeah.
I think he's probably going to latch on to some kind of a contender, be a number 4 or 5 starter for them. Zach Eflin, don't have a whole lot of interest there. Zach Littell, maybe. I could see the case. Max Scherzer, if he wasn't from St. Louis, I would say it doesn't make any sense at all. But being from here, maybe I could see the argument. And then Dustin May, who we brought up.
Agree with that because these reclamation projects, I think they were going to be in those no matter what. I think it makes all the sense in the world to pick up at least one of them. Just because the fact that if you do flip it, then you can, if he pitches well, you can then flip him at the deadline, or you lock him up longer term if it's a 1-year deal. I'm with you though. If you're going upside plays, it has to be in the market. We've talked about him. It's like Joe Ryan from Minnesota. Pablo Lopez name is floated around a little bit. Alcantara's out there. I'm not even sure those make sense because the dollar attached to him. It's really the Joe Ryan, Mackenzie Gore, whose name's been floated out a little bit as well out of Washington.
Yeah, I think that's probably the direction. Maybe you add one via trade, one via free agency, and maybe you do another minor league starting pitching kind of a move where you bring in a guy who maybe either starts out the year at AAA or could work their way onto the major league roster if they're able to beat out like a Kyle Leahy for that final spot of the rotation. I think that would make a lot of sense for them. The other news yesterday for the Cardinals, we can just do this quickly. They made a couple of 40-man moves. Zach Thompson and Anthony Veneziano were both outrighted to Memphis. I believe both opted for free agency, if I read that correctly. I'm not 100% positive on that, so don't take that for my word. I just, again, the big thing here, they were outrighted to Memphis. Roddery Munoz was placed on waivers and claimed by the Cincinnati Reds, so goodbye, Roddery Munoz. And unfortunately, our guy Michael Ciani, he was also placed on waivers, taken off of the 40-man, and the Atlanta Braves said, we will go ahead and take you. He is now a member of the Atlanta Braves organization.
Man, how's that make you feel about Ciani? Because you were probably ready to give him 10 by 100.
Probably.
Center field that can run well and catch the ball.
He was replaced last year. Nathan Church was a better version of Michael Ciani.
In a matter of a month of Nathan Church, he was a better performer?
Yeah. So that's he basically claimed a spot on the 40-man roster.
Did any of those moves bother you? No. Because it was water off of a duck's back for me. I'm like, all right, cool. You just reshaped. You just opened up spots on your 40-man.
I was a little surprised by the Munoz move, but that's the only one that stood out in any meaningful way to me. And does it bother me? Not even a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say part of me is just they've got the depth because they used Munoz more in the bullpen than they did rotation. So you've got those guys, and the rotation-wise, you're going to reshape it through through trades.
Yeah, the only reason it surprised me was because he was such a big arm. I mean, he had – if you could find a way to capture it, and it's why a team claimed him, right? The Reds are thinking, okay, well, we'll try it, right? We'll see if we can get it to work. But the other thing, too, is these moves, these aren't the 4 guys or the 4 40-man spots that they cleared off yesterday aren't for signings in free agency. These are going to be used to protect guys for the Rule 5. If they make any kind of signing or trade, it's going to be from the guys that they trade off the roster as the offseason goes on.
Yeah, both Thompson and Veneziano were both outrighted and became minor league free agents. So I was right on that. I wanted to confirm it before we got off the air. The one other move that was made, and this one actually did legitimately surprise me, Alex. The Cardinals added Brian Torres to their 40-man roster. Now, he is a player that in his minor league career has played catcher, first, second, short, third, left, right, and center field, and he has pitched. He has played literally every position on the diamond, and this isn't one of those where he stood at a position the way that Pedro Pages did for a few innings at second base. He has played more than 40 games at most of the positions that I just mentioned. His production jumps off the page. 300 hitter, over a 400 on base percentage. He is a very small guy. He's not somebody that's going to have any kind of pop at the major league level, but I like that they're giving this a shot. Go ahead and give him a chance instead of paying, $5 million for some kind of utility player when you're in this spot as an organization. Is it going to work? Is he going to become a legit major leaguer? Probably not, but it might. Might as well find out before you let him go elsewhere, and then he latches on somewhere else and becomes a 6-year major leaguer for super cheap in another organization.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this was, okay, cool. You got your younger Jose Fermin. You got your younger guy that you could bring up in a pinch, and he could play whatever position you need him to be. He's done everything you've asked him to do in the minor leagues, so now you just add more depth to your team. You rotate some of these guys who have been here for 3 or 4 years that are utility pieces that you never see. I mean, Jose Fermin spends basically the entire year on witness protection until you get him called up at one point.
But he hits.
So now you bring in another guy who's younger, who's done everything in the minors, and say, let's see what you got.
Yeah, I like it as just like a depth move because he can play. I mean, BK mentioned he can play literally everywhere on the diamond. And I think what he is he's probably your depth replacement for whether it be Fermin or Prita, who they put on the 40-man roster. Like that, too, he's going to end up being the replacement.
They have a ton of infielders on the 40-man roster. One takeaway, this is just my tinfoil, from them adding Brian Torres to the roster yesterday. He's a left-handed bat. I think it signifies at least one, maybe multiple of their left-handed infielders will be traded this offseason.
That's Sajasi, right? He's right.
Sajasi's a righty. It could be Sajasi as well. Maybe they decide to move him too, but like Donnie, Gorman, Burleson, these guys that otherwise would have filled that role, I think Torres could end up filling in for one of them this offseason. Alongside Alex and T-Bone, I'm BK. Coming up next, time for the Junk Drawer here on 101 ESPN.
College football is on ESPN tomorrow morning. Texas Tech and BYU. Pregame at 10:30, kickoff at 11. The NCAA plays on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's BK alongside Alex Ferrario for our friends over at Underdog. Alex, I checked my app today when I woke up. 30% profit boost showed up, which means I'm ready to put down my play. You go into the weekend, you've got NFL plays that you want to put down. If you want to do something on the college football side of things, you can do so here in the state of Missouri. For me, I want to put some action in on this Mizzou versus Texas A&M game. I mentioned earlier, I don't think it's going to go particularly well for the Tigers. Here's what I've got. Ahmad Hardy, higher on his longest rush attempt in the game. Texas A&M's run defense, not good. Higher on Matt Zoller's interceptions thrown. I've got lower on kicking points for our guy Bobby Boots. 5.5, I think he's going under. I don't know that they're going to kick a field goal. And I've got lower on Marcel Reed rushing yards because I don't think he's going to have to. I've got all of that over there. You put it in on the app over on Underdog, Alex, and it is 10-1 odds.
Have fun with it and go out there and put the entries in. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. Download the Underdog app today. Sign up with promo code BKO to score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Again, promo code BKO. Underdog. Make plays. Win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Live from the Centene Community Ice Center inside the E&B Granite Studios. You're tuned into BK and Ferrario on 101 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmer's Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN. Let's open it up. The Junk Drawer with BK and Ferrario.
Alongside Alex and T-Bone on BK, it's BK and Ferrario here on 101 ESPN. Alex, have you thought about where you're going to be buried at all?
No. Why would I? Well, first of all, I'm going cremation.
What a weird question.
I'm going the cremation route, so I don't really think it really matters. Yeah.
Are these the kind of questions you open Thanksgiving dinner with?
Not open, but
not
maybe
dinner,
like
just when you're sitting around, we're watching some football.
Yeah.
You got the like midday.
I don't blame them. These are
game.
good conversation
What?
pieces.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Alex.
these are good
No, I
conversation
don't-
pieces.
I can't picture my dad being like,
It's
hey,
something-
boy, what a throw by Jackson Dart that BK just over the court. You ever thought about where you're going to be buried?
Why not, man?
I think it would start a conversation.
It's just these
Has he? You should ask him.
These are shower thoughts. You think about these
Keep
things.
him in the shower.
You obviously have thought about this, not in the same way.
Well, no,
Like
yeah,
yours
mine's cremation, so it's like, cool, do whatever you want
Do you
with
know
it.
what you would like them to do with your ashes?
No, don't keep them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's weird to me. Like, I have people that have like
do you
family
want them
members.
outside of Enterprise Center, for example?
That no, absolutely not. Like, I love the
think
Blues,
it's-
but I don't need that tied into it. No, I don't care what you
Did
do
you
with
wanna
them.
be in
By that
Enterprise
point,
Center?
I'm ashes, so I don't really care. I've gone on to a better
To
place.
explain, I would like to have mine, I think, put in the mountains in Colorado. It's one of my favorite places in the world. We go out there every winter to
That's
see
weird.
my grandparents, and I would like them to spread them over the mountains in
You
Colorado.
know what that reminds me of? You remember the movie Due Date with Robert Downey Jr. and Zach Galifianakis when he goes to the Grand Canyon to spread the ashes and he throws it in the wind, pushes it back in his face?
I've seen some.
That'd be somebody that do that to BK.
They put them in the sand, or
Luka
they
goes
go
to
on
spread them.
a cruise and they spread them over the ocean. You know, there's a lot of different ways
No,
that you can do
at
about
that
this.
point, I'm just like, whatever you want with it, because that will be my wife and my children's decision. I don't like the idea of open casket funerals.
I agree.
They creep me out, and I don't want people coming up to look at my dead body, so just cremate me.
T-Bone, have you thought about it at all?
No, not at all.
Do you guys have like a family cemetery in Olney?
No.
There's only
We're
one.
the only-
There's only one cemetery in Olney.
We're the only grouping of our family that is in Olney. So no, like I don't even know where my parents would want to be because my mom like loves Kentucky. So I'm assuming she'd want to go there. And my dad's from St. Louis where my grandpa is buried. So I would assume he would want to probably maybe be in that
I think we
area.
take T-Bone's ashes and we put them right on the pitching mound at Busch Stadium.
Yeah, we
That
should.
makes sense. See,
Right
that's
on.
another option.
Under first base.
Ooh.
T-Bone loves him. And actually under
I
home
know, 'cause
plate.
first
Everyone loves a
basemen are
bunt.
respected. Oh,
By
yeah.
the, speaking of which, we haven't talked about this on air. So we're a part of the Big League Impact Fantasy Football League this year.
See, this is what I thought you were going to lead with in the junk drawer, not
Oh,
where
man.
you were going to be
No,
buried.
man.
Right now, well, the reason I bring this up, the city of Paris has announced a lottery ticket with a twist. Instead of a cash prize, entrants can instead win the chance to be buried in one of the French
steal something
capital's
from the
most
Louvre?
celebrated cemeteries. But I'll set that aside for a second. So one of the things that we could potentially have coming our way, if we keep going in this direction, we're currently number one in the entire Big League Impact Fantasy League. I think there's like 55 teams. We're number one in points scored so far this year. The number one team gets to throw out the first pitch
Oh, baby.
at a game next year.
That's a bucket list item right there.
Now, if only one of us gets to throw out the first pitch, we're going to have to figure out how we handle that. I think it's me because
Yeah.
I'm the one putting in the lineups every week.
Unfortunately, I agree with that one.
But I would feel a little bad
When
if
you
our
bounce
guy
it.
T-Bone is legitimately on the cusp of getting this opportunity. And like, yes, it is a
Whoa,
bucket list item for the two
whoa.
of us. T-Bone loves baseball more than either of
That's
us. Let's
true.
be real here. So it would be hard for me to take that instead of allowing T-Bone to have that opportunity. Now I do it, but I would feel bad in doing so.
Yeah. I thought about that last night when we were texting about it, and it's like, as much as I'd want to do it, I can't take that because BK has been putting the entire lineup together all season. We didn't even know we were doing it. BK was like, yeah, we're the best team. And I'm like, what? But my hope is that if we win that, they would allow the three of us to go out there because it's the team mentality. And it's like we're the show. So I would imagine we tell them, be like, look, the show is what did this. So let us throw out the first pitch. They've had 5 or 6 people on the mound throw the first pitch before.
Yeah, and I've been there. There's plenty of time for a billion first pitches, so there's plenty of time for that. I agree it should be BK, but we got to go throw like weeks before that.
Oh, for sure.
Because he's got to get on the mound and he can't bounce it, right? Because then we would be embarrassed by association.
Oh no, I
we
prefer
can't have
the
that
embarrassment.
happen.
Bad publicity is great publicity
He'd
for
bounce
us.
it, and whoever the players that would catch it bounce off their knee, they have to be scratched from the lineup.
I hope he chucks it in the dugout and hits somebody in the head.
I will say, if we get this, and now that we've talked about it on air, there's 100% chance
we're BKOing the hell out of
We're going to end
that.
up being not even in the top 25.
Yeah. If we get this opportunity, we'd have to figure it out to where it's like BK and Ferrario Day at the ballpark.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed. Be rooting for us.
God, nobody would come
Alex
to the ballpark.
claims he's great to talk
6
to in
weeks
public.
left.
I'll be able to see it in person.
We've had a good start. We've got to finish this thing strong. We unfortunately had Brock Bowers last night. Not a great start for us.
Oh.
We're
The
also
fantasy
down a win because you decided to tell another team to put people in their lineup because they didn't have it set. So
yeah, that was a bad job by me.
Should be one more win up.
We were playing against the fast lane. The fast lane did not have a lineup in. I texted them and said, "Hey guys," because they always text me to let me know, "Hey, you forgot to put your picks in." Blah blah blah. So I put them in prior to Thursday. So on Sunday afternoon, I went to check the score of us versus the fast lane. They didn't have any players that had participated yet, and it showed that we had a 100% chance to win. So I was like, they don't have anybody in their lineup.
And your first thought is like, "Well, I'm going to text them and put somebody in."
No, I texted them and said, "Hey, did you guys forget to put your lineup in?"
Text them after we beat them.
They said, yes, this is prior to Sunday Night Football. So they had 2 games to choose from. For all of their players, they beat us. They beat us with just 2 games.
Hey, we're going to miss it by one win. We're going to miss it by one win to throw the first pitch.
Alongside Alex and T-Bone on BK,
it.
somebody on the text line said, if the Cardinals sign Bader, BK is 100% going to make him catch for him. We will try to do everything that we can to pick who we have catch for us for that first pitch.
I want Mike Schilt.
What would be awesome?
I want Mike.
What would be awesome is whoever Bader signs within the offseason, that team's in town. And BK's I don't want a Cardinal. I don't want a Cardinal. I'll take the Minnesota Twin, Harrison Bader.
Jaron Duran catching the first
Someone
pitch
had a good
me.
Chad Powers had a good comment on the YouTube chat. He said BK needs to pitch, T-Bone's the catcher, and then Alex can be the umpire.
There you go.
Call ball 4 in the dirt.
He's Alex's T-Bone on BK. Coming up next, there seemed to be a statement made about Robert Thomas last night that might have gone a little under the radar. We'll talk about it next year on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN's Blues Fan of the Week.
Congratulations to Jessica Patterson from Springfield, Illinois. She was just named our newest 101 ESPN Blues Fan of the Week.
Submit your pick now at 101ESPN.com to be the next Fan of the Week and take home a pair of tickets to an upcoming Blues game.
Our Blues Fan of the Week is presented by CarStar, your auto body repair experts. Locally owned with nationwide warranty. See us at carstar.com.
Hey, it's BK for my friends over at Victory Men's Health, and it is time for you to unlock your inner champion. The place to do so is with Victory Men's Health. We are just around the corner from the holiday season, just a couple of weeks away from Thanksgiving and then Christmas. Sometimes this is the time of the year where people start to struggle with that unwanted weight being added to their bodies. Well, one way that you can avoid that and one way that you can get some help, if that is something you're dealing with right now, is by checking out Victory Men's Health. VictoryMen'sHealth.com is the place where you can go. They can help you lose some of that unwanted weight. They could also help you with erectile dysfunction, low testosterone symptoms that you may be feeling, and they could tell you about their vitamin infusion, supplement shop. Red light therapy is something that's really big that they've got available for you. And they could check out that cardiovascular health for you as well with some of the testing they have available. I went in, they were able to check my micronutrients, find out what are you high on, what are you low on, where are you at with all of these different levels, and then we can personalize some of these supplements that can be sent to your house. They send it to my house each and every month. It's a great thing that they do over at Victory Men's Health. Check out what they can do for you. Unlock your inner champion by going to VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
WXOS, WXOS HD1 East St. Louis. 101 ESPN is driven by Auto Centers Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty and 30-day return. BK and Ferrario are broadcasting live from the E&B Granite Studios at the Centene Community Ice Center, presented by Bud Light and Skimmer's Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN.
Alongside Alex and T1 on BK, it's BK and Ferrario here on 101 ESPN. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll get to our NFL weekend look ahead. We've got one's got to go at 1:30. You give us 4 different options. We'll tell you which one's got to go here on BK and Ferrario. But Alex, there seemed to be a statement made that may have been lawful last night. Blues played well. There was the Jordan Kyrou conversation that took place. Joel Hofer was great. And all of that game, Robert Thomas may have been benched. Now, he wasn't asked about it after the game. Jim Montgomery wasn't. And so we're not 100% sure. Yeah. But Thomas basically didn't play for the final 10 minutes of that second period. He was back in the lineup starting in the third period.
Took the first shift in the third period.
So it wasn't a huge thing. But if this appeared to be, and they benched Thomas midway through the second period, what did you make of that?
That Jim Montgomery's just making his rounds of sending the warning shots to everybody. This could have been an equipment. My theory is it's not an equipment issue. It's because it was 3 full shifts that he missed, and he took the first shift in the third period and then played the normal amount the rest of the way. So to me, that's, hey, something wasn't right. Nothing really stood out to me, but frankly, in that second period, things were all over the place. The Blues were getting stuck in their own zone for a decent amount of time. But this is Jim Montgomery sending the warning shots to everybody. Yes, Jordan Kyrou was the healthy scratch. Just as bad and embarrassing it is for a healthy scratch. And it's
ESPN is your home for Blues hockey. And this month, we have your shot to score an autographed puck by Blues defenseman Tyler Tucker. Enter to win that Tyler Tucker signed puck right now at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app, powered by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Brought Broadcasting live from the Centene Community Ice Center inside the E&B Granite Studios. This is BK and Ferrario on 101 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmers Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN.
Alongside Alex and T-Bone on BK, we got Bradford Brunn saving the day.
We're
back in the studio for us. We are at the Centene Community. We're broadcasting from the E&B Granite Studios. It is time for our NFL Weekend Look Ahead. In 15 minutes, we'll get into One's Gotta Go. You give us 4 options. We'll tell you which one. Oh, Alex, it is a semi-interesting weekend in the NFL.
This is a poo-poo platter.
Okay.
What?
I think there's a few good games.
Yeah, same. It's not as bad as it was last weekend.
No,
What's the game you're most interested in watching when we tune in on Sunday?
Probably the Rams and 49ers. And it's really because I don't trust the 49ers anymore, but they still find ways to win football games. And it's just an NFC West battle, which are always entertaining. But I think the Rams are the better team. I think they win this one straight up. But I'm always curious to see what your warts are when you play against a division rival.
Can I go next, T-Bone? Me, pick me.
Sure, I'll just pick whatever one you guys don't.
I like the Patriots and the Bucks.
No,
That was
great.
my other one that I liked.
Same.
There was only 2 games,
man. Those are 2 of the top 7-ish MVP candidates right now. Talking about Drake May and Baker Mayfield.
Well, all of his weapons are gone.
The Buccaneers' run defense, you might as well not run them. Good luck. And good news for the Patriots. Ramondre Stevenson isn't playing in this game, or at least he's not expected to.
No fumbles.
So I think this is going to be a huge Drake May game. Like 40-plus pass attempts could be on the table for Drake May against this Buccaneers defense, which means we get to see what we want to see. It's him throwing the football all across the yard. If you're somebody that's playing daily fantasy this week, I think Drake May would be a great play in some of those contests because of his potential rushing upside, plus the fact that they're going to be throwing it as much as they will. That's the game that I'm most curious to see how both of those teams look. I truly don't know how it's going to go.
Go ahead, T-Bone. Sift through the rest of that poo-poo platter.
I say, I've been scrolling over here, and I'm trying to figure out what to say to make the third
Now
best
you
game.
agree the poo-poo platter.
It's Sunday night, right?
I think it is. I think it's Steelers-Chargers, but even then, I don't feel great about that. Like that Chargers O-line is so beat up that I don't know they're going to do much offensively. They're going to make the Steelers defense look better than it is.
I'd rather watch Cardinals Seahawks than Steelers Chargers.
I was thinking that one over it. The other one I was thinking is Lamar and the Ravens against Minnesota, just to see if J.J. McCarthy starts to play better. At least there's kind of a storyline there. And Baltimore has to win. They're such a desperate team. So I'm going to change my answer. I'm going to go Baltimore, Minnesota, but don't watch that game. Watch what these 2 first say.
I've seen a lot of people that I trust who know more about ball knowers, I would consider them to be.
Ball goers.
That have said, hey, don't look at the way that the Vikings offense, like the overall numbers last week. J.J. McCarthy stunk.
Yeah, every time I've seen McCarthy, people are like, oh, stop sleeping on McCarthy. He's terrible.
14 for 25. Was sacked 5 times in the game for 25 yards, threw an interception as well, rushed the ball 9 times for a grand total of 12 yards.
The only reason he looks good is because he's got receivers that can come down with a 50-50 ball.
If you're running 9 for 12, that screams you just escaped more sacks.
Yep. That means you basically had like 5 or 6 other sacks that could have been problematic for you, and you just got back to the line of scrimmage. So that is something that does concern me a bit. I like the Ravens side of things in that game.
Yeah, I do too.
You guys want to go through things and we can talk these through for my fast lane?
There's no more interesting stuff for you guys in this poo-poo platter?
Oh, yeah, underdog. Who is your underdog, your upset pick of the week?
You guys go first.
Well, you don't feel good about any of these?
I don't, because every underdog, I'm like, man, they're losing.
I'm gonna go with the Giants at the Bears. I feel like I pick the Giants every week, but I love their defensive line, and I'm not buying what the Bears are selling. I know we're getting excited about them, and hey, yeah, look at Chicago.
Scroll. Like I hate everything.
All of it. Like tell me a team that's not expected to win that's gonna win. It's not happening.
I'm trying to sell you on the Giants.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
It's more about I don't trust the Bears than it is I trust the Giants. Like I don't think the Bears defense is all that great. I can see where the Giants end up putting up more points than we're expecting, and that they get in the face of Caleb Williams and they make his day a living hell. So give me the Giants as the upset pick. G-Man.
Go for it, man.
Pick me.
He's still scrolling.
I plead the fifth. There's no more to scroll.
49ers. I think the 49ers could win outright.
Can 3 points be a underdog play?
Yeah.
Cool. Steelers over the Chargers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 points on the road. I get it. A neutral site, they're not. But I told you, I don't trust any of these other underdogs to win. That's why I said, are they underdogs 3 points?
Do we know who's starting for the Saints this weekend? Is it for sure going to be Tyler Shuck again? Because if so, I have no idea.
It better be, because I took the Panthers in my survivor pick.
If Shuck's in,
shucks.
If they go back to, what's his face?
Do you have to dump that if he says that?
No. Spencer Rattler. I would probably go ahead and take them against the Panthers. It sounds like Tedero McMillan is expected to be out this weekend. Their number one wide receiver.
Should I move mine?
So that would.
Do you seriously? Should I move my survivor pick?
I don't know who else you take.
Bears over the Giants.
I don't trust that one. They're getting upset this week.
And then the other one I had was the Browns over the Jets.
Oh God, yeah, stick with Panthers. Yeah. Do you not have Seahawks available?
I've already used the Seahawks. All the teams that I trust, I've used them already. I guess I could do the Jaguars over the Texans, but Jags on the road, I don't know.
I think I would lean that one because the Texans. I think C.J. Stroud is out.
Yeah.
That's a road.
I don't feel good about it.
I'm not sure I trust.
Which one do you feel better though about? Panthers at home against the Saints or the Jaguars
Vegas
on the road?
Feels better about the Panthers, and they're better at this than I am, so I'd go Panthers.
And 80% of the people. It's 80% favored for the Panthers on the survivor play. So my imagination is there's a lot of people that are going to be picking the Panthers. So if I go out, everyone's going down with me. But I'm so freaking close.
You want to go through these games real quick?
Jags.
For the Fast Lane Pickup Challenge?
I don't trust you. You forgot to put your pick in.
Help me make my picks?
Yeah, ever since he started doing this, he's been
I was going to say, he actually been shot since he's been doing this with us.
Two. It was back-to-back weeks, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, you didn't ask us.
Yeah.
Falcons on, I guess it's a Berlin game. Falcons versus the Colts. Well,
I'd go Colts.
Yeah, agreed.
Sounds like they're going to be without their number one defensive tackle for the foreseeable future. DeForest Buckner placed on IR earlier today.
They got
Giants at the Bears. Do you really think that the Giants win this game outright?
I think they can. I don't trust the Bears. I know we're getting out over our skis over them. I can see where they win that football game. So I would lean Giants.
It's a home game. Giants they've lost their Energizer Bunny, which was Scattaboo. I think Bears win this one.
I do too. I'm going to lean Bears in this one. I think it will be close though. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see some bad moments from Caleb Williams because of the pass rush in this game. But I just think their explosiveness offensively is going to be too much for the Giants to be able to match.
I think I'm going to take the Bears in my survivor pool.
Whoa.
DeAndre Swift's playing.
Go for it.
Ted McMillan out makes me a little concerned. Who else is Bryce Young throwing the freaking football to?
I truly don't know.
Now, their defense is better than the Saints, which is important, but got me all messed up.
The Bills are on the road at the Dolphins.
Bills. Easy. That one will be over at halftime.
Put that in the pick.
That one will be over at half.
Ravens on the road at the Vikings.
Ravens.
I want to say Ravens, but I could see a scenario where the Ravens defense isn't as good as we think they've been over the last couple of weeks. I still would say the Ravens because McCarthy's bad.
Their defense is making a believer out of me. It's amazing, man. They've done the same thing each of the last couple of seasons. They start out and it looks horrible. They fix it midway through the season, especially after their bye is really when this happened. And it's Roquan figures it out. He's out of shape early in the season, and then he plays himself into shape. And then they just decide, hey, Kyle Hamilton, you're going to be this. Last year it was, you're going to be the guy that plays in the slot. This year he's fixing their issues once again. So I think the Ravens defense is fixed, and that means that they're a good team once again. It's a weird process, but it happened.
Their defense is like the Blues. Don't show up for the first part of the year. The break is like Four Nations, and then boom, here comes their defense, and they're fixed all of a sudden.
Browns at the Jets. Talk about a game that if they show this once on Red Zone on Sunday, I'm going to be furious.
Hey, I got Judkins playing in my fantasy league.
Great. Check the fantasy app. I don't need this on my Red Zone channel. They can go to the Octo Box. I don't want to see that.
The Octo Box.
They're just going to make that eighth camera just Scott Hansen.
Yeah, I'm good.
The Octo Box.
They could show Alex watching the games, and I would rather see that than Browns versus Jets.
I won't be watching it. I'm going to have it on my phone and just audio version.
I've got the Browns in this one.
Yeah, I got the Browns in this one. That's why I really wanted to go the Survivor. I don't see how the Jets win it when you've just disbanded their entire team. The running back said, I want out. I know that Justin Fields played well last week, but this was why I kind of like this for the Survivor pool.
Who do you guys like in Patriots at the Bucks?
Patriots.
I do too. I almost took Patriots as my 1 point play in our pick.
Bucks have.
They're so hurt.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're starting to see the issues because they're hurt and they don't have Bucky Irving, who now might be out longer than they expected. You've got Egbuka, but he's still banged up, and you don't have Evans or Godwin. So I think the Patriots win this one.
I think I'm going to lean Patriots as well. This, to me, is the hardest game this week to pick. I think Drake May has a game. Like, if you want to bet on Drake May this year to win the MVP, I think today is the day to do it. Because if they win this game, I think it's going to be because Drake May has a big performance against the Bucs. I don't know how they run, so it's got to be that. And then you look at the rest of their schedule, man. They could go on a run from here. The Jets, the Giants, the Bengals, the Jets again, the Dolphins again. They basically have 2 opponents worth of crap the rest of the way. It's home against the Buffalo Bills and on the road at the Ravens. Those are 2 games where he could, if they win one of those, it's like national spotlight type of performances. Boom, you're talking about Drake May as a legit MVP candidate this year.
Yeah.
So I would put that down today if you believe the Patriots win this game and you want to bet on Drake May to win MVP. Saints at the Panthers, you still go on Panthers?
Yeah. I don't know, man. In this game, yes, but
Jags at Texans, are we all on the Jags?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think the Texans could
Davis
win that
Mills,
one.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, but that defense is so freaking good. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence.
I think they will keep it close.
My concern is the Jags pass catchers. I think Brian Thomas Jr. potentially could be out for this one, and they're going to be without Travis Hunter.
And ETN
it's
is
official. Jaguars have ruled out Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
So
and ETN has not been very good. I think I could see the Texans winning this one solely based off of their defense.
Their number 1 wide receiver in this game is going to be Parker Washington.
Ooh. So I should go Texans
Who
in the.
the
Oh,
heck
I already
is
used
that?
the Texans.
The Texans have their backup quarterback. I don't watch this game either. Cardinals at
It's
the
just
Seahawks.
eliminating games.
We all like the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks.
Rams at 49ers. I'm going to pick the Rams, but
I like the Rams.
Yeah.
I think it's close.
I think the 49ers are not what the 49ers have been in years past that always make these games competitive.
Lions at Commanders. We all like the Lions.
Lions.
Yeah.
Easy,
Sunday
14
night,
points.
who do you guys like? Steelers at the Chargers.
I like the Steelers, man. I think the Chargers are still winning football games, but at some point their luck's going to run out.
Yeah, I do too. I like the Steelers because though their defense hasn't been good all season long, TJ Watt's probably going to have a huge game. With the injuries that are to that offensive line, I expect he's going to be a game wrecker, and their offense will do just enough to get them over the top.
Yeah.
I like the Steelers too, and that makes me really nervous that all of us are on the Steelers.
Well, I took him as my 1-point play, so.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, other than this past week, this is typically, and I got 2 bad beats on mine this past week, so.
Monday's fun. We'll talk about this on Monday for the show, but it's Eagles at the Packers, a legit opportunity for us to see a potential.
Yeah, it's not Sunday, so the Packers will look like a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, that's true. NFC Championship game preview. I actually am going to take the Eagles in that game just as a quick preview for us. I think the Packers offense is without too many playmakers. That Tucker Kraft injury, I think people are underestimating how big that is for them. I don't think they have the explosiveness to be able to make the plays necessary to beat that Eagles defense.
Jordan Love's starting to fall into the category of quarterbacks I just don't trust with the ball in his hands.
I mean, he's Justin Herbert, and I like Justin Herbert. I don't know that him and Herbert are ever going to lift their teams over the top.
So we've got for our NFL weekend look ahead, a few games worth your while on Sunday. Not a ton, but a few of them.
Poo-poo platter.
And a few games that you just absolutely should not show, and you should sue Sunday ticket.
Whoa.
If they put them on
Allegedly.
Browns at the Jets, don't
see that
show it
game.
to me. Jaguars at the Texans, don't want to see it. Honestly, Saints at the Panthers, nope, don't want to see that one either. Just show me like 5 games on the 12 o'clock slate and we're good.
Why don't you just stick to one game?
Yeah.
Whatever's
You know
on in this
Why
local
don't you
network,
not watch football on Sunday?
Yeah.
The frustrating part, this
Why
is the
don't
week
you go-
where I really get to experience the noon slate and the 3 o'clock slate because the Chiefs are off completely. They've got their bye this week. And
Try me
this
or
is the
whatever.
slate of games that they gave
You
us.
got your birthday weekend this weekend. Don't worry about it, man. You're not even going to be watching.
You
We're
get
going
them?
out to dinner tomorrow night. I haven't figured out where we're going to go, but we're going to go to
You 30?
Paris treating me. Yeah, I'm like 33.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you,
these birthdays don't matter,
You're
man.
33? Wow.
These birthdays don't matter.
Man, you guys are
I'm
old.
dust. It's game over.
Need a
My
great
Woke
year
up
coming
today,
over
my
there.
hip was sore. It's just
Oh,
it's
yeah.
over.
My back was a little tight after
Had a little bit of
getting
a headache.
swole last
From
night.
nothing. I think I didn't quite drink enough water.
All right.
yesterday.
Oh, I've been there.
I'm flipping my survivor pick to the Bears at home. It's 71 to 69%.
They're not losing.
I'm flipping to
They're
one or the
losing.
other.
They're losing to the
I
G-Men.
see the Panthers falling in this game.
You do?
I could see it
But how do you not see the
I
Bears
don't-
not falling?
because at least they got a better offense.
That's true.
Yeah, but
What's
this is-
Jackson Dart got? What does he have?
But the Giants' defense is like the best pass rush in football.
Cool. So I'm going to see offense versus offense.
What? No, I'm saying there will be no offense from the Bears.
There's not going to be any offense from the Panthers.
The Giants have allowed 33, 38, and 34 points over the last 3
You
They
stop
do.
giving me football
They
advice.
do for a good defense.
So
So we're switching. We're all in agreement. I told you if we win, you get 1% of this. That's $2,000, man.
Yeah, that's a good. That's
I don't
a good
actually think that's $2,000. It's like $200.
I'll take it.
Give you $200.
I would go Bears personally.
I can't believe I'm like agreeing with him.
I know you're so gonna lose. So gonna lose.
Text line, help me out here. Send me Panthers, Bears.
314-399-9646. Help Alex make his survivor
gotta go
this week. Are we going with the Panthers? I say we because I get 10% of his winnings.
Nope, 1%.
Panthers at home against the Saints, or do we go with the Bears at home against the Giants? We'll give you our final pick on that as we go along later today. But next, time for One's Got to Go here on BK and Ferrario.
TMA's Martin Kilcoyne is headed to Scotland in June, and you can join him for the trip of a lifetime. Discover spectacular Scotland with Colette and visit the historic capital of Edinburgh, Glasgow, the legendary Isle of Skye, cruise on the lovely Loch Ness, and so much more on an amazing 10-day tour. Colette handles all the details, flights, meals, hotels, and local experiences. Don't miss out. Get all the details on how you can discover spectacular Scotland with Colette and TMA's Martin Kilcoyne now at 101ESPN.com.
All right, you've heard me talking about it. BetMGM is coming soon to Missouri. On November 17th, sports fans in Missouri can pre-register and get up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if their first bet loses, plus an additional $100 in bonus bets if they deposit before December 1st. Enjoy a betting app that was designed for game day with features like live bets, same-game parlays, BetMGM rewards points, and surprise boosts dropping in your account all throughout the season. It's everything a sports fan could want in one app. Pre-registration is coming soon to Missouri on November 17th. BetMGM. Make it legendary. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, Missouri only. New customer offers subject to eligibility requirements and minimum deposit of $10. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable and expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Pending BetMGM's licensure as a mobile sports wagering operator with the Missouri Gaming Commission. Register for a Missouri online sports wagering account starting November 17th. BetMGM's issuance of a welcome offer is conditional on full licensure.
Report. Your front row seat to all things Cardinals. From the dugout to the diamond, BK and T-Bone go deep with the latest news, notes, and analysis. Watch the Redbird Report on YouTube or listen online at 101ESPN.com. 101 ESPN Sports Center.
All eyes fall on Ferrario tomorrow. I'm Bradford Bruns. Your Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Saturday afternoon's marquee matchup in Columbia, pitting number 3 Texas A&M against Mizzou. The Tigers still have precarious CFP hopes. They will start true freshman quarterback Matt Zollers following Bo Perbula's ankle injury versus Vandy. Tight end Brett Norfleet's shoulder, meanwhile, renders him questionable here. Hardcourt-wise, Mizzou playing host to SEMO tonight. Illinois battles Florida Gulf Coast. That primary Big 12 ACC clash featuring Kansas as well as UNC. Jim Montgomery's Blues are off before grappling with Seattle about 29 hours from now. The Sports Center update was driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at Londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
This is BK and Ferrario on 101 ESPN. Broadcasting live from the E&B Granite Studios at the Centene Community Ice Center, presented by Bud Light and Skimmer's Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN. This is BK and Ferrario. Time now for One's Gotta Go. We offer up the talking points, and you get to pick which one's gotta go on 101 ESPN.
Count that big pen.
Alongside Alex and T-Bone on BK, we got Bradford Bruns back in the studio for us, doing a fantastic job today. It's time for One's Gotta Go. 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line. You give us 4 options. We'll tell you which one's gotta go. We'll start out with this one. One's Gotta Go drink edition. Coffee, tea, soda, or an energy drink. Alex?
Oh, energy drink. I don't do energy drinks anymore. Give me headaches, which I think is probably like brain aneurysms that I'm getting. I lived off of those for way too long, so they'd have to go.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've never been a big energy drink guy. I get my energy from coffee. Energy drinks just feel like too much.
I thought he was going to say
urine.
I thought he was going to it tastes like gasoline oil. I thought he was going to say, I get my energy from life. That seems like a T-Bone thing to say, right?
That sounds like a thing that I would
I was
say.
gonna say, I think you got us confused.
That's true. How much tea do you guys drink? PK, we know drinks it all the time because, I love tea.
No, not often. I never drink hot tea unless I'm sick.
Yeah, that's when I do it. Sore throats.
Green tea I'll do occasionally. Like it's afternoon, I don't do coffee, so if I need a little pick-me-up, I do
I've cut back soda pretty much. The only time I have soda is like where I absolutely it's a long day and I just need some type of caffeine spike.
Every now and then, like at a meal, maybe I'll get a soda, but I'm kind of with you. I do a lot of tea in the summertime. I do a lot of, I like green tea. That's a good one. And I do only do one when I'm sick, but I like sun tea. Do that, set that out outside in the afternoon, get it, and then chill it overnight. And delicious.
From the 618, one's got to go sights to see. Grand Canyon, Northern Lights, Niagara Falls, or Mount Rushmore.
Did you say Niagara Falls?
No, I was going to say Niagara because I was looking at Mount Rushmore, and then it came out that way.
So I really want to see the Northern Lights. I really want to see Niagara Falls, and I really want to see Mount Rushmore. What was the first one?
Grand Canyon.
Oh, God, that one's a good one, too.
I don't really care to see Mount Rushmore, to be honest.
Oh, it is really cool.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah,
I think Niagara
I thought
Falls.
that way before I saw it, man. It is something.
Niagara Falls probably would be the one that needs to go.
That's something, too.
I feel like it's something
You've seen a couple
I've seen
of these.
2 of the 4.
No.
I've seen Niagara Falls. You got to do the Canadian side. The American side is not that good. The Canadian side is really cool. And I've seen Mount Rushmore. And I was kind of like you guys, where I'm like, who cares? It's like a rock with a person's
My
face in it.
parents sent me a picture.
It is like just special when you get to see it in person.
My parents sent me a picture of it, and I was like jealous that I wasn't there to see it. So I think I'd get rid of Niagara Falls because the other 3 I'd really like to see.
Out of these 4, I would say Mount Rushmore. T-Bone sold me on it, though, that it's maybe a little higher on my list than it was previously.
Yeah, I would say for me it'd be Northern Lights. Though that would be cool.
Those pictures are so
I know.
freaking insane.
Haven't you been able to see them at times? Don't they come through?
Yes,
St.
but it's not the
Louis?
same.
It's not like the same experience.
Yeah, it's not the same experience for how intense it is when you're there.
I want to see Grand Canyon because I think that would be really cool. I think it's got to be Northern Lights for me. Even though I want to see it, it's 4th on this list.
One's got to go Thanksgiving side edition. We're getting into Thanksgiving.
Oh, yes.
Sweet potato.
You're a Christmas guy. You need to keep your mouth shut over there.
Can I tell you how excited I was this morning when I got in the car on Friday? When I was driving to work, I like to listen to a podcast, but I couldn't get my stupid Apple CarPlay to connect. And then I saw on my presets on my radio, Sirius XM had switched over to the Christmas station, and I listened to it.
You're not allowed to even speak of Thanksgiving.
It is 6 weeks away.
Oh, who cares? I got the countdown in my house, 49 days away.
Oh, God. All right, so Thanksgiving side edition. Sweet potatoes, in the words of T-Bone. Sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes.
Not sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes.
Stuffing. Mashed taters.
Mashed taters.
Or mac and cheese.
Sweet potatoes.
You sound like an idiot.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a big sweet. In the frame of how they do it for Thanksgiving, where they cut them up and they put marshmallows in them, I like sweet potato fries. That's like the only sweet potato I'll eat, or like dice them up into
mashed
chunks.
Potatoes, sweet potato.
You just said potatoes after making fun of him. You can't do that, man.
You weren't making fun of yourself.
You can't do that, man.
I'm like Forrest
I like
Gump.
the baked sweet potato.
The Forrest Gump. Bubba Gump.
I like canned shrimp. I like fried shrimp. I like baked shrimp. Really can do anything with shrimp.
That's me, but with sweet potatoes.
Dude, I've gotten really into like making 3-cheese macaroni and cheese for the girls with like those rotini noodles.
Have you ever seen Andy Reid's mac and cheese recipe?
No, I only imagine. I wouldn't be able to make it through that.
I'm with you though. Sweet potatoes got to go. I hate those.
I just don't like when they put the marshmallows in them. It's
eat
nasty.
sweet potatoes. Period. I cannot get into.
I like sweet potato fries, but I'm the weirdo that puts salt on them.
That's not weird.
Is it? I feel like people
My
like.
mom likes to put cinnamon sugar.
Yeah, I feel like people like put sweet stuff on them. I always go salty.
That's totally fun. Yeah. Andy Reid has a mac and cheese recipe that has 6 different cheeses in it.
Oh, that's too many.
He said you should be good with 5 though.
Oh, jeez, no. It's Colby Jack, it's cheddar, and it's mozzarella. That's the 3 that goes in there. And what I like to do, I like to dice up bell peppers and put it in.
He's got Fontina,
Oh,
mozzarella,
my God.
Parmesan, sharp cheddar, Gouda, and Gruyere.
Oh, God. Ooh, the Fontina
He said
one.
you could go with 5 of the 6 though if you really want to.
The Fontina one I'm out on.
That sounds all. That's too much cheese.
Yeah, and Gouda. I'm not a Gouda person.
314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service
It's
text
not
line.
Gouda.
One's got to go driving for a weekend getaway edition. Nashville, Chicago, Kansas City, or Branson. We know what Alex is not picking.
Yeah, no. Branson's the ultimate of that one. Are you kidding me? Golf, steal your dollar city? Mine would be Chicago. Get rid of it. That's not fun. That's not a weekend away. That's more stress going to a place where there's so much traffic.
I love Chicago. I would say Branson for me. The others are cities. Kansas City.
You guys aren't living right. It's the perfect destination. You stop at Lambert's in Springfield. You get some rolls.
Branson?
Big enough, man. Big enough.
Did you say home of the throne roll?
Yeah, you get some thrown rolls at you, which is fun, and then you go golf for a couple of days up at
There's so much more to do.
Whatchamacallit? Oh my
At
gosh!
Kansas City, Chicago, and
does Kansas City have great golf courses? Not
I'm
like
sure
Branson.
they
Does
do.
Kansas City have a theme park? Not like Silver Dollar
Does
City.
Chicago have great golf courses?
The answer is yes, they do.
They don't. They don't even have the best barbecue. Missouri does.
I would actually probably say Nashville out of these 4 cities.
I'm definitely not a Nashville person anymore.
Like,
I got that vibe.
I like Nashville, but Broadway does very little for me.
Yeah,
that is not my scene. And hey, man, if it's something that appeals to you, more power to you.
I did it for T-Bone.
It's just not my jam. I'll go out. Like if we've got a trip and people want to go to Nashville, cool. If somebody's got like a bachelor party, I'm more than happy to go to Nashville. I'll have a good weekend out there. It just would not be anywhere close to the top of my list. So out of these 4 cities, the one that I would get rid of would be Nashville.
I just winked because T-Bone kept whining about wanting to go out.
Don't I know?
I know. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You got your time, man. Just move on.
Should have been 2 nights, not 1.
No. He's T-Bone. That's Alex. I'm BK. Coming up next, the Rewind here on 101 ESPN.
The St. Louis Blues quest for the cup starts right here.
Big save on one end. Tie game on the other.
Tomorrow night, Blues and Kraken. Pre-game at 5, puck drop at 6.
Score! He tucks it in with a great move.
This is your exclusive home for Blues hockey. 101 ESPN.
Alex Ferrario, and I've got some money-saving news just in time for the holidays. Credit card rates are over 20% on average, but at first,
ESPN is your home for Blues hockey. Every month during the season, you can score a pair of tickets to a Blues game at Enterprise Center. A new winner is picked every month throughout the season. Enter to win now at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app presented by Ted Drew's Frozen Custard. Live from the Centene Community Ice Center inside the E&B Granite Studios, you're tuned into BK and Ferrario on 101 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light and Skimmer's Original Vodka Iced Tea on 101 ESPN. Let's run it back with the Daily Rewind on BK and Ferrario. Brought to you by Gloria Loom, your home sold guaranteed realty. Selling your home begins at GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Hey, if you missed anything from today's show, be sure to check it out on the podcast page. 101ESPN.com and the free 101 ESPN app is where you go to find it. It's all sponsored by
Schaefer Door Company.
It's 151. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. The 101 ESPN app is one place where you can find that podcast, and it is sponsored by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. You can always see us on YouTube as well, youtube.com/101ESPN-STL. That is where you can go to see the latest edition of the Last Minute Blues podcast. You can find the Redbird Report over there. You can also see the latest edition of the Spread Zone as well.
And College Football Connection.
That is right. If you're looking for any of that, you can find it at youtube.com/101ESPN-STL. Alex, what'd you say happened to you in the bathroom?
Oh, God. So apparently I have a face. And, look, I said that I like talking to people, not in the bathroom. Just using the urinal like a normal person does. I'm trying to go in and out. And I was standing there, and a gentleman walked up, and he goes, "This spot taken?" First of all, I don't like people to sit behind me while I'm using the restroom. Second of all, please don't talk to me while I'm going to the bathroom.
Who says that?
Who says, "Is this spot taken?" Yeah, the urinal's open, man. Use it, and don't look at me or talk to me.
I can understand saying that to somebody if you're like, you've got like a communal eating area, right? Like you've got a lunchroom type.
Yeah, where somebody actually has, maybe taken this spot.
Exactly. And
what,
you're
do you think somebody
are
took
you
a
waiting
break
for something here, or is the spot open? Like, I get it. This seat taken. Totally understandable thing to ask in that scenario. What is he like? Reserving the urinal for a guy?
Yeah, I guess he assumed somebody forgot something and went and got it and wanted to come back and use it.
I wish you would have been quick on your feet and said no, just to see what. Yeah, it's taken. Sorry.
No, I don't like to speak because I'm actually doing something that I want to get in and get out.
What was your reaction? Did you even say anything?
Just chuckled. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, the awkward chuckle.
Yeah. What am I supposed to say? What do you say to that? What do you say to that? This spot taken. Yeah, come on in. The water's warm. And the bad part about urinal,
or maybe more likely it's not warm.
Well, no, mine was. But like the problem is it's a urinal, so like the divider is just from here to here. I wish the divider would go up all the way over my face. This is why you use the stall at all times, Ferrario.
Alex is going to start bringing a blanket to put over his head. Alex going to the urinal here.
It's like
you had a hoodie. You could have just thrown up your hood.
This is like the third time that I used the bathroom here, and somebody has a comment to me while I'm using it. The one time
Alex is going to start bringing water jug.
The one time the dude cut cheese and he goes, "Oh, pardon me." Just why, man? Please don't talk. I will talk to you before we go into the restroom. I'll have a conversation while we're washing hands, but while I'm in the middle of something private, just keep your words to yourself. Spot taken. You want to make somebody feel uncomfortable, walk up to him in the middle of a urinal and say, "This spot taken."
Well, the Blues won last night. They did so with
That's
Jordan
the transition.
I didn't know really how else to do it. Jordan Kyrou was not in the lineup. We're hoping that he'll be back in there tomorrow night. Alex will have your full coverage right here on 101 ESPN as the Blues take on the Kraken starting tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Alex, what did we learn yesterday in their 3-0 shutout win?
That they responded to Jim Montgomery, that they have the ability to play a physical brand of hockey. But to me, I didn't learn anything. It was a good win. If I learned something, it was Joel Hofer's awesome, and hopefully he's ready to start building off of it. But overall, it was a good win for the team, especially responding after that Capitals loss, which was the worst one they've suffered this season. But I didn't take anything from it because they've got to string them together now. Mike McKenna told us earlier, you got to put together 4 or 5 really good games. And to me, that was ground zero. That was the first one. Now, how do you build from it? Otherwise, it was Joel Hofer. Joel Hofer played awesome, and I hope that he can continue that because they desperately need him.
T-Bone, your Illini are off on the football side of things. They do have a game, though, this evening on the basketball side. Florida Gulf Coast, their final tune-up game prior to that matchup against Texas Tech, which is next Tuesday night. That'll be a legitimately fun game to watch. Anything in particular that you're watching for tonight?
Not really. I mean, there's nothing you're going to learn from tonight's contest. I mean, he's going to continue to kind of juggle things up, go with different rotations just to see how they play. There's not much you're going to learn from. They're going to win by like 50-plus.
Mizzou basketball in action tonight against SEMO. It sounds like Trent Pierce is going to miss this game. Honor Boateng once again out. So those two guys, I want to see some of their players that struggled against Howard. I would like to see them get back on track. Like Ant Robinson, go have a good game. Mark Mitchell, can you just have a normal game? Because you got hurt in the first one, and then in the last one, he didn't play particularly well. And then Sebastian Mack, who was their big transfer guard that they added, he's been in the starting lineup. He just doesn't look like he fits the offense right now, so I would like to see him seem to settle in a little bit more. So that's on the Missouri basketball side of things, what I'm looking for tonight. On the football side, Mizzou versus Texas A&M tomorrow. I have Texas A&M minus the 6.5. T-Bone does as well as part of our pick'em for this upcoming week. Man, it's just such a tough spot for Mizzou. True freshman quarterback, a kicker that you can't trust. I don't see a scenario where they win. It'd be amazing if they did. The one path to victory to me, Texas A&M's run defense hasn't been great so far this season. Ahmad Hardy, maybe he just has an awesome game, and then your pass rush gets home against Texas A&M, cause a couple of turnovers, and you set up your offense for easy scores. That's really the only way that I can see this going, but otherwise, like Texas A&M, I think is going to win by 2 scores.
Yeah, my heart tells me I want Mizzou to keep it close, even if they lose by 3, lose by 6, and make it at least interesting, but I think A&M wins this one straight up. It really comes down to, is your defense a lead in this game like they've been before, and can Matt Zollers just be average? All you need to do is just put the ball in the right spot, not get sacked, and let the rest do their work.
Yeah, I expect A&M is going to win. I think it's probably going to be by 2 scores. I think Mizzou will keep it close going into the halftime break because their defense is that good. But even if Hardy has a big run or 2, at some point, Zollers is going to have to make some plays. I just don't know if you can really trust a true freshman against that defense to do it.
This just in, Sean McVay announcing that Harrison Mevis, a.k.a. Mizzou's former Thicker kicker, will be the Rams starting kicker on Sunday against the 49ers. Their previous starter had missed 8 kicks, the most in the NFL, so they're making a change going with Harrison Mevis. We will break down all of the weekend action coming up for you guys on Monday. Appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. Again, if you missed anything, check check it out on the podcast page, 101ESPN.com and the free 101 ESPN app. For Alex and T-Bone and Bradford Browns, who did a fantastic job for us back in the studio today, I'm Brandon Kiley. We'll talk to you on Monday. The Fast Lane is next here on 101 ESPN.
Get social with 101 ESPN. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, Threads, Blue Sky, and YouTube at 101 ESPN.